a penis popper.
That's a
Yes.
good way to start the stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get us started off with a strong go. All right.
Please doing the
So
explosive opening.
now it has been a couple of weeks since our last session. We had some stuff come up, just interpersonal things that got in the way. As June was just mentioning, they're not going to be available next week, so this is going to be kind of spotty, especially since I'm also still in the process of going through a move. But regardless, the last time that we played, shit happened, to put it mildly. Mainly, the first part of that was simply travel. The party got onto their airship, the Flying Angler, and rode that bitch north. Until they crossed a great emptiness, which is known as the Big Sky Plains. They had some interactions with like a goose, multiple geese. That was a thing that happened. They talked to some dudes. They sold a gun or two to like a barbarian guy who may or may not know what gun safety even is. Hey, who knows? Let's find out. And then eventually they made it to a big city called Oakumsea. And they had the option to either go around it or, stop and check and see what things were at. The party ultimately decided to stop and check. They floated up. They were like, hey, we are traders from the Empire. See the flags? We have paperwork and everything. And the guards were all like, hey, we've never seen a flying house before. That's pretty pimp. Sure, let's do some trading. Park it over there where there aren't any people for you to crush. So the party parked their blimp just outside of the town walls. There was a big gathering of folks who were like, hey, we've never seen stuff like this. Oakumsea here in Uxland is, as you guys have been made aware even before you got here, very, very just like strongly human population. They are like 98% humans as far as like overall population. Here at Oakumsea. So that like 2% of not humans is obviously a very small number, and you guys are now a significant chunk.
We make up
and there was the other thing is that like while you guys are not human, the people here responded like you're basically a circus troupe. Like they were shouting questions at you. They were being looky-loos and getting a bit handsy even in a couple times. So they're not like scared of you or anything like that. They're like, hey, you're a bunch of weirdos. And it's interesting for them, here in the depths of winter to like see a bunch of weirdos in a flying boat show up. But either way, though, non-humans, when they come to Oakumsea, do business in Oakumsea or to stay for any extended period of time, basically after dark, you have to go to the Jarl's keep, meet with the Jarl. The Jarl will then have you sign a little contract thing that's, just says that you're not there to like steal children and, be bad, that sort of stuff. You may also kind of sort of be waiving your rights to like self-defense, but
tomato, potato.
Yeah, that's how the cookie vaporizes. Either way, though, when you guys were on your way here, one thing you noticed was that there was a dude, one of the human guards. He was flying above the city using boots of flying. You guys didn't find that out until a little while in, but he was using boots of flying. And what he was doing is he was checking through the thick smoke that comes up from one part of the town, which is called the Ashtide District, where they have a lot of charcoal kilns. And he was checking the smoke plumes for floating dead bodies, as the party rapidly found out that's a thing here, apparently. But you guys went by to the Jarl's place. The Jarl pulled out the scroll, but he gave you all the option to not sign the scroll. Like, he wouldn't have you, officially sign the scroll or anything, if you could help with the whole floating dead bodies thing. The party was like, yeah, sure, we'll take that option. And so the Jarl then had the guard who had just come in essentially for break from looking for dead bodies in the smoke, had them take you guys over to the main church, which is called the Everfire Church. It is a church that is dedicated to Serenade, the Dawnflower. She is a good, like with a capital G, goddess that is associated with like the sun and fire, and also like finding the Pathfinder version of Satan and kicking him in the dick until it's inside out. That's who she is. So Serenade is the main like goddess here, and that's who this town mostly is dedicated to. There's little bits and bobs of some other deities, but this is a extremely Serenade community. And under the church, they had a holding cell designed for living people. Why they have that? Nobody bothered to ask that question, but they had one, and that's where they were putting the bodies that float. They're basically human balloons. They're dead human balloons. And they were bobbing up against the ceiling. And so the party was like, that's freaky and weird, and did some checks. And you guys found out that, well, first and foremost, very obviously, each of the bodies was missing a piece, usually a major limb, that the limbs had evidence of being mostly cut free, like something got like all the way down to the bone and then everything, and then just kind of ripped off the end. So there was some damage there, but otherwise the body was clear of any other sort of like wounds or evidence that they had been in a fight or anything. So there was put forward the question of like, okay, maybe these people died in their sleep, which turned out to be true. You guys found on the freshest of the, which was late middle-aged human guy. You found a pinprick hole on his neck, right around one of the major arteries, that went into said artery, but not like enough to like punch through his neck and trachea or anything like that. But just a pinprick hole there, and from a spell that Laria used to see like his last 10 minutes, he was basically asleep in bed at night. There was a shadow that like passed across the window. He kind of startled, like he'd heard something, and then he went all boneless and just laid there in the bed, still breathing, mind you, but he just went all boneless. So whether he's actually like awake or whatnot during this was going on, or if he had just passed back out, that was unclear in the vision. But then right towards the end of that like 10-minute span of time that the spell gives you access to, the moonlight that was coming in, moonlight or starlight that was coming in, was replaced by firelight coming from the opposite end of wherever he was laying at in his lodgings. So a fire had been also started. These guys' bodies were filled with smoke and whatnot, very stinky, gross smoke that they would occasionally belch and fart out, especially as you guys were like moving them around. And some questions from the guards got you the information that like this has been going on for 3 years, and every single year it happens at the same time every year, and each time there has been more and more bodies, or there's been more and more people who have gone missing, and they have recovered more and more bodies, but they never actually recover all of the bodies from all of the people that went missing. This is the most that they've ever managed to capture. So they've reclaimed 6 of the bodies, but there are 25 people who are missing. Since this place is not really very like happy with people who aren't human, they're usually one of the first people who get like blamed for this stuff. But there has apparently been some voices advocating for the non-humans who do actually live here on a permanent basis, that they got shit to deal with this. One of the people who is most adamant about that is a Trolsch guy who was mentioned. His name apparently Dougal. He lives and works in the Ashtide district. You guys have not met with Dougal or done anything for that, but you know that he exists. Then it was asked like, oh, what about like this is magical shit, so have you talked to any wizards? Yes, they did. They did talk to the wizards. They've talked to the wizards every single year. It's fucking happened, and the wizards are all like, hey, we don't know what's going on. like some serial killer with magic or whatever. But the guard, as you guys were like walking out, he mentioned that like, the last time that they had talked to the wizarding community of Oakham about this, that it really did seem to him that some of these wizards knew more than what they were. So the party decided that they would go talk to one of these wizards, and he took you guys to a magic shop, which belongs to a elderly wizard who was the guy who enchanted his boots of flying. So he took you there, and you guys met a like slightly racist Merlin, very old man. He's like
You
probably in
say
his 80s.
slightly racist, but he just was racist.
Well, I mean, yes, he was racist. He just wasn't like super rude about it.
Racism is like one of those things where it's like you're either racist or you're not. There's no in between
Between.
racism. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's not an in between, but he was not especially rude about it. And
His seemed to come from
and-
ignorance and not hate.
Yeah, his was obviously like some distrust and ignorance rather than. He did say when you guys were talking to him that he had served in some conflict in the past, and when he actually, one of the people who was part of the unit that he was attached to as a war wizard was a Konrasu, so he actually knew how to speak Rasu. And so he had a conversation, mostly in Rasu. So technically, after the fact, the rest of the party would have to get cleared up on the. But like, he had a mostly in Rasu conversation with your Magus, and essentially he's like, "This is a fucking spirit. This is some sort of like undead spirit that is doing this thing." He's pretty sure it's like a human spirit, so like somebody who died and came back as an undead is doing this stuff. Why? Don't know. But spirits here are even worse, even if they were originally human. They are much, much worse than non-humans. So much so that the reason that he and the other elderly wizards didn't say this to the Jarl is because they're under the assumption that the Jarl, who, quote unquote, isn't a bad guy, but is a politician, and he's a politician first, that he would, in order to like stop a panic and crashing the town's like entire economy and everything, he would just burn the entire district to the ground. He would not care about the people who live there or who are actively living and working there. It's not like he would like, shut all of the gates and doors and all that sort of stuff and burn them like inside of their buildings. But he would have his guards systematically go through and just burn the entire place to the ground in an attempt to like excise the spirit and also calm the rest of the population down that something had been done about it. So that's why they didn't tell him that there was very likely a spirit. And they were just feeding the Jarl the line of like, this is just some crazy serial killer who's got magical powers, which is technically not a lie. They just, let him assume that they meant a guy who's alive. As for what particular powers or abilities this thing may have, that is unknown. They also don't know exactly how the shit that it does. They don't know if the body's intentional or a side effect. So there's still quite a lot of unknown of exactly what's the thing that they do know is that all of the deaths have occurred in the Ashtide district, and I specifically marked off the like section of town that has happened, and that's where all of the disappearances and all of the bodies have been found. The other thing that came up from the investigation of the bodies, or something that was proposed, this hasn't actually been confirmed, was proposed, is that the people who had died, or at least the 6 that were in there, that they were probably targets of opportunity. They were just simply easy targets to go after, as opposed to, having some specific connection to them. As there was as there were both men and women, and they were across like a wide spectrum of ages. like the youngest was 13 or 14 and didn't even live in the district. They were apparently a runaway whose family actually lives over in Rosewall. They were just found in the Ashtide district. And to an elderly woman who was 70. So that's what you guys know at the moment. It is currently about 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. The weather is
did we get a
right?
specific time as well when these deaths occur? Or they're all just like random times.
Mostly random. According to the guard who's been tasked with finding the bodies, he says that they have found the body, like all of the bodies except for one that was found during the night because a building had caught on fire, and the neighbors were attempting to. They thought that the guy was asleep. They went inside and they found him dead, also floating inside of his room. But they found he's the only body that's ever been found during the night, and according to the vision that Laria got from her spell, that guy did die during the night. Yeah, but other than that, there's no indication that this stuff only happens at night.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense though, because like I'd imagine a lot of the smokestacks would die or simmer down during the night or whatever, and so it'd be harder to hide the bodies.
Yeah. That is definitely a thing. Also, it was pointed out that Serenay, along with a bunch of other religions, has New Year's celebrations, which go on, which basically start about 2 weeks before the actual New Year. So like the last 2 weeks of December and the first 2 weeks of January, there's celebrations. So there's a lot of drinking, people moving around, a lot of like just merrymaking, distractions, fireworks, all of that sort of stuff as they celebrate the new year.
Or that's happening
the coming of spring and whatnot. Well, the actual day, like the actual day that today is January 2nd. So you guys, so they didn't have a big blowout like fireworks thing like they normally. The reason that you guys are even here, but because you got here, there was a blizzard, and there was the threat of like snow tornadoes ripping through the big sky plains. So you guys bedded down for that. Thankfully, there was no big tornadoes, but that also rolled through Oakumsea, so that's why they didn't do it yesterday. So it's on the docket for tonight.
Oh.
Yep. So tonight is the big fireworks show.
Maybe it's the fireworks that pisses the spirit off. This creature. What do you guys think we should do? You think we should do some research on the place we're thinking about going and then investigate, or investigate and then do that after?
I think because essentially our plan right now is use me as bait. And the best way to do that would be at night, and so that basically just means we need to kill time until nighttime. So,
yeah, but it's like he said that it's not like it doesn't happen at nighttime, but it like
that's true.
Like they particularly more happen during the day or whatever.
You again, according to the guard who's been this to escort duty for you guys, given when they have found most of the bodies, the assumption is that the killing happens either very, very early in the morning, or very, very late in the evening, or just the middle of the goddamn night. But they find the bodies, they tend to, over the past 3 years, they tend to find the bodies after it is full light in the morning. So you're talking about something that's happening around sundown, something that's moon at its height, or something right before the sun comes up.
Okay, so yeah, maybe you are right. Maybe we should wait until night.
Yeah, which also it would give us reason to go do some more research on the mines that we're going to, as well as automatons.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. We probably should do that. Yeah.
And what is Is there any people outside of character, any people that we could ask about like ethereal defense, like something I could, like a potion or something?
Well, that would be a thing that would be a thing you'd want to go talk to the priest to.
Yeah.
The priest of Cyrenae, they are pretty like adamant about it, even outside of Uxlan, they're pretty adamant about like undead are bad. Okay. And so they're pretty against undead in general. But here they're pretty fucking hardcore against undead. So if you need something that is like a undead thing to help with, you go to the priest for that.
I mean, understandable. They literally mine soul gems here.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can, if you'd be okay with that, Kelly, we could run by the church real quick and ask, see if they have anything to spare, and then we can go start doing research to kill time till, a little bit darker.
I'm fine with that, as long as we don't run into any more racist people.
I mean,
Onward.
I don't know about that, but it's like it can happen. But all right.
Seems like this whole town's a little bit.
I was just looking up Cyrenae and like related things that they do, and the first thing that popped up, when it comes to anti-undead things. This is the first thing on the list. Is they make there's a magical item that they make, which are called the Dawnflower beads. And they're what's funny is that they're basically I think these are supposed to be
Just what? You cut out.
a necklace of holy hand grenade.
Oh. Huh.
So, which you guys are not high enough level. Like,
okay.
That'll be something to put on. That'll be something to like, put a little mark on. But yes. Okay. So then, I guess the plan is until it starts to get dark. You guys want to do some research on what Showberry and what the mines in Showberry like. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. So
as well as just run by the church to see if they have any extra anti-undead stuff.
Okay. All right. Well then let's start with our research here. Let me pull up my stuff on Showberry. Okay. All right. So how do you want to go about doing research? It was mentioned at the last session about like going by library or something. And of course, you've got an entire town of people who just ask to be like, "Hey, do you know Showberry? What's it like?" So what do you want to do? How do you want to go?
So wait, did we go to the priest?
Well, do you want to go to the priest first, or do you want to go do research first?
We could.
One's closer?
Yeah.
Probably the priest. Probably just go ahead and take care of that pit.
Yeah.
Just run there and be like, "Hey, I got some undead killing stuff."
They do.
I mean,
But if you ask like that,
they do.
Is there any?
Although they would like to know what undead are you planning on killing, because there's a large variety of them.
Spirit, most likely.
Yeah. Something incorporeal, ethereal, kind of like that.
The Serenite quartermaster. Like when you mention this, like, you see their eyes go, like they get real big of that. Like, oh, well then, well obviously their most basic thing is they can provide you with holy water, little throwable grenades of holy.
Beauty
Here. holy water, so that we're clear here, is very literally just a vial of blessed water and like herbs that are mixed in and whatnot, and you can just chunk it like a grenade. It has a range increment of 20 feet, and it deals spirit damage, and it does have splash damage, just like Callie's bombs, but it does spirit damage.
I have a question. So you said it had, like, in order to make holy water, it's not just blessed by a priest kind of thing. You need like actual other ingredients, right?
Yes, I mean, like, the big part is the priest blessing, but you
because I was about to ask.
You need water, and you need a couple of like special herbs and components, which they do sell those.
I was gonna ask a really funny question. I was gonna turn like all the water in Callie's tank like into holy water or something like that. It'd be funny.
Well, I mean, it would be funny until you started.
Until I started to drown in it.
Yeah, because there's bits. There's seasoning that's floating around in it.
It's filtered. It's basically like your filter's been uncleaned for a while.
Well, I mean, I know that like the blessing is very important. Like, yeah, we'll just buy them straight out. Probably be a good idea. The holy water.
Okay. Well, on hand they have a dozen vials of holy water. A single vial of holy water is 3 gold pieces.
Okay. I can cover it if need be.
And they have 12 of them. So if you want to just run that entire thing, they'll just hand you the crate, like the 12 pack.
I gotcha.
It's literally just a fucking refrigerator sleeve of cans of holy water.
Didn't know we were going to Costco.
Callie like nudges Tim's like, probably should write this down so that we can lie to the Empire later, say that we like bought 12 vials of holy water.
Let's see here.
And would it be possible for them to like do a temporary blessing on one of my firearms?
They can place a talisman on it.
Sure.
Hold up. Let me pull up the freaking talisman. We haven't really dealt with talismans as far as items are concerned, but just so that we're aware, talismans are essentially like alchemical items. You glue them onto a piece of armor. Special thing for usually like a one-time doohickey. If you're familiar with Warhammer, that are just like stamped onto the armor, and it's literally that. So they've got a couple things. Do you want a fire specific?
If they have one.
Would these guys specifically have anything that's just firearm? It's just firearmy. No, they would not have anything that's very specific to just firearms. No.
Yeah. Well, if not, then just anything that will allow me to actually deal some damage to ethereal beings.
Okay. They have. They've got holy oil, which can be applied to any weapon. Although the quartermaster is like, when you were like, I've seen these. I've never actually seen one in use, but like, I've seen these before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that you use this weapon is you point the end of the long piece here that has the hole in it towards your target, and then you pull the trigger, and out of this hole comes like a small specialized arrowhead.
Essentially, Tim like pops open the side of the revolver and pulls one of the rounds out and shows it to him.
Okay, well then you will probably want to put this either on those specialized arrowheads, or maybe get it on the inside part of this forward tube here, in order for this to like actually have any effect. Normally, this goes on swords, which have cutting edges. Although I have heard tales of archers dipping arrows in it and it working. So long as it affects the part of the weapon that makes contact with the target, then it should work. But they do have some vials of blessed oil. So what you would do is just smear this on your weapon. And when it is activated, your weapon's physical damage goes from whatever its normal type damage is, like piercing or slashing or whatever, and becomes good, like elementally good damage. So anything that has weakness versus goodness, anything that is an unholy creature, is going to like get the shits pretty bad from this kind of thing. So if you know that you're coming up against something like damage reduction or things like that, or something that you know is straight up unholy, like type of fiend, some types of undead, then this will work. So would you like a ampule of blessed oil?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Do they
All right.
have a recipe for it?
They totally can give you the recipe.
Alrighty, good.
All right. The blessed ampule, though, the pre-made item, that's 15 gold.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's 15 gold, and just so that you're aware, it literally lasts for one round. So you activate it, and then the first round that you use the weapon, it will affect any attacks during that round.
Gotcha.
So, at best,
Smart about it.
Yeah, at best you're only getting 2 attacks. So yeah, be smart about it. This is not a spray and pray situation. Well, I mean, maybe it actually might be a spray and pray.
So it's blessed ampule. Got it.
Yeah, it is a blessed ampule, and it's literally just a small piece of glass that has like a thin point in it. You crack the glass and smear it on the weapon, and booyah. And you can do that as a free action. So it doesn't actually take any of your actions that round to do it. So you can just smash that onto your gun and then start pulling the trigger immediately.
Tight. Okay, cool. Well, Tim is carrying a box of holy water and has put the dread ampule, the blessed ampule in his top pocket.
The one thing that I'm looking for on here that I'm trying to see if they've got it, is do they have like a limited use ghost touch kind of thing? I don't see one on here. Because there is the rune. I mean, if you want the rune, they could sell you the rune, but like buying, and Callie would have to affix that to a weapon that can hold it.
The rune? It's the rune of Ghost Touch?
Yeah, it's called Ghost Touch.
And it has to be affixed to a weapon that allows it? That rune?
Yeah.
How much is the rune?
75 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Let's see, Ghost Touch.
Also, it looks like ghost touched weapons can't be held by corporeal creatures. Right? Weapons. I think it's just saying that incorporeal creatures can touch ghost touch weapons, but so can corporeal ones.
Yeah, it does not remove the corporealness itself. It means that it interacts with incorporeal things as if they were corporeal. So technically, if you had a ghost touch sword and were fighting a ghost monk who disarmed you, the ghost monk can then pick up your sword and beat you to death with.
Give me your sword, bitch. Oh, I can hold this one? Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you might be able to hit the ghost, but the ghost could technically steal your
All right,
sword.
give it back to you. Yeah.
But yeah, it is 75 gold for the rune.
I think
so
if we were to...
you want to go that far. You want to go that deep.
I would have enough money for the ghost touch rune.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
I get you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
The only thing about the ghost touch rune is I would think that we'd want to give it to like one of the ones that have a melee weapon, which I think currently that's Roosty and...
I mean, I have a melee weapon, remember?
Yeah, you have a melee weapon, but are you going to be up in melee distance, or are you going to be...
I mean, I kind of am if we are doing this, because remember, I don't have Mr. Service on me at the moment.
Oh,
yeah,
yes, that's right.
Mr. Service is currently attached to the boat.
Yeah, because
he's on guard duty. He's on guard duty at the boat.
He's on guard duty, and I thought it would just be like, very suspicious rolling up in a tank in the middle of town.
How many ghost touch runes do they have?
A single ghost touch rune.
I have one.
Then maybe giving it to Roosy might be a good idea.
Yeah, because I can give you and June like 6 each of the holy waters, or we can figure out how to split it up. I can use my gun at least once to like really do some damage with my dread ampule, and then at the very least we can have Roosy who can do consistent damage.
Yeah, I mean,
because he is otherwise unmagical, and his sword only has well, let me check this. Actually,
oh yeah, weapons
before I
that
talk
have
out my ass.
Weapons that have any magical effects on them can harm ghosts, right? It just does less.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, like for instance, just take your basic ghost. Like your basic ghost has resistance to all damage, up to a certain amount. But if that damage comes from something that is not, their resistance amount that they have doubles. So to harm a ghost with a non-magical would have to be much ridiculous damage somehow elsewise that it still takes some kind of damage.
And my 3-peat tree has a point at the end that's made out of graphite that I can draw with.
All right, I'm back.
You can write with it. Okay, so Roosy, just to be specific, he has a +1. He's got a +1 Azurketi wave sword, which does have a slashing rune on it. So it's got the +1 and it's got slashing. And the number of runes that an item that a weapon can hold is based off of its like fundamental runes that it has. So let me pull that up here.
Well, if that's the case, what do you have any runes? What runes do Callie and June have on their weapons?
Her rapier.
I have.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Callie. Go ahead.
For my 3-peat tree, I have the +1 potency and the striking rune.
Yeah, so that's one. That's one rune. What does June have?
That's technically 2 runes.
Oh, that's right. That's 2.
Yeah, that's 2 runes. So a regular weapon, because correct me if I'm wrong, Citrus, but doesn't June's rapier also have the +1 potency and the striking?
Yes, her original weapon got the +1 rune, so it's just a normal silver rapier with the +1. Then she has the +1 in striking rapier that she got from the Yanti or the snake folk. And then as far as like the Darksteel dagger, is that like a rune or what's that effect like where it like does?
That's unique to the weapon. That's not
unique to the weapon, and also the Gloom Blade is considered like a plus. Let's see. I think it's like let's see. That was what we got from the obelisk from the Goldako.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Blade. Okay, it's black as coal, but it in bright light functions as a +1 short sword. Does not radiate magic aura, and in dark it becomes a +2 striking short sword. Okay, yeah. So that one, it's like another like innate to the thing.
Yeah,
but it does,
Oh, it's just magical, yeah. Just a magical sword.
Okay,
it,
so yeah,
it does say you can improve
that's
the
a magical unique one.
Yeah, it does say to upgrade the Ruin Blade's fundamental runes, start with the base +1 short sword, but if you improve it beyond a +2 string short sword, the runes apply in dim light or darkness as well. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Okay.
Ladyfingers has
No.
any
So-
runes on her, does she?
Maybe the +1 potency.
Yeah, the potency.
Oh, it does? Oh,
Maybe
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, does it say +1 on the?
no. That's what I was asking.
Okay, then it
Double
just-
checking.
Okay, well, if it doesn't say that, then Ladyfingers has not been otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay, so but though to go back to the base question of like how many runes can it hold, the number of property runes, which Ghost Touch is a property rune, that a weapon or piece of armor can have is equal to its value of its potency rune. A +1 weapon can have one property, but it could hold another if the +1 property potency rune is upgraded to a +2. However, though, striking
Does not affect
is a fundamental rune and therefore does not.
Okay,
limit.
yeah, okay. So we can add it to Rusi's sword if we wanted to.
Okay, so then you could add that to Rusi's sword, and then later on, take the time to learn the rune formula, and then apply it to anybody else's weapon that
Do
wants
they
it.
have the rune formula? Do they just have it?
Yeah, they have one rune.
They
No, no,
literally
have a
they literally
rune.
have-
I'm
yeah,
asking
they have
if they
a
have
rune.
the formula for the rune type.
no. You would have to reverse engineer it.
Okay, well, we can do that later.
Although the quartermaster, the Serenite quartermaster, does let you know that if you are truly interested in learning the rune, then you can go by the main Serenite temple that's in Keenshone, the capital of Uxlan, and they will gladly teach it to you there, so long as you basically sign a pledge and all that sort of
Join a
hold
covenant.
Serenade as the god that you will
Yeah.
worship above all others.
Callie laughs at that. He's just like, worship a god? No.
Not in the books.
Not ha-
Yeah, nah, not this group.
Well, they thought they would suggest that as a thing, but
Never knock the hustle. Respect it.
but just to be clear, they have absolutely no problem selling to people who are not members of the faith, because
Tim goes in for a fist bump.
it's in
just like-
it's in everybody's. They give you a fist bump back. It is in everybody's interest to take it to those undead bastards and put them back in
Give
the
it to
fucking
them.
ground.
Yeah.
That's a benefit to everybody.
Oh, damn it.
So they will, but they will sell you the prepped, ready to go. It's already on a rune stone, Ghost Touch rune that they do have. They will have to send They also will have to send a missive back to the main capital to be like, "Hey, we sold our one rune stone. Can you please send us another, just in case somebody else needs one?" So it'll take a couple of days, a couple of weeks actually, for that to roll back around. But they will gladly sell that to you now, and you could put that on Rusi's sword basically immediately, and then suddenly Rusi is very effective against any sort of.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll put it on his sword immediately.
Slap it on that bad boy.
All right, I will add that to his sheet. See here, he's got the +1 waves sword
And claps Rusi on the back and just goes, "You're a resident ghost blender. What's up, man?" All right.
I will blend a ghost, although can you blend ghost, or is it more like a stirring? Blending kind of implies that there's like different stuff mixing around, and the ghost means that there's not different stuff. There's just soul, right?
You're our resident ghost whisk.
Don't ever call me that.
It's not. That's,
blender. If that sounds better.
Okay.
Better.
I'm gonna put +1 ghost touch Azurketi wave sword.
We're gonna get Rusi. We're gonna turn this man into fucking guts.
I mean, he does already carry like a big wavy sword in his big fuck off robot arm.
Yeah, because that's the wave sword Callie was carrying for a while. She just gave it to him. She was like, I don't need this. I got too much other crap to carry. Yeah,
and Rusi is also like a gladiator type fighter, so like he's all about like being showy and doing flashy moves and all this sort of shit.
Let's go.
So yeah, he will be kind of a fucking blender. Okay, so that's noted. Is there any other stuff you'd like to request from the Serenite quartermaster while you guys are here?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're good, honestly.
I'm good. Anything else from y'all?
I mean, I'll probably take like 6 of those bottles, yes, but
Tim like starts passing out the holy water.
Okay.
Because I mean, I might end up being useless in a fight otherwise.
Yes.
Question, Fuzzy. I don't know it. If we're like getting like into specifics and whatnot, but the would I be able to do the poison weapon with like holy water? Like, it's not exactly a poison, but
I mean, wouldn't it be a poison to like good creatures though?
Oh yeah.
Because you're basically like blessing your weapon or whatever.
Yeah, that's. Well, it's
that is. It's interesting how that fucking. I'm just now seeing like the and I was like, the fuck is that? It's just a meme of King of the Hill. Hey, y'all, the cold. Yeah, this is it.
Wait,
y'all the cold. No,
I clicked on it and opened it.
Oh, you clicked on it. Okay.
No, this is a spiritual weapon. Yep, this is go. Yes.
Okay, I don't know why. I guess it's like too big for the chat. Maybe I don't know.
But let's see. You apply a contact poison or injury poison.
I like how Callie and June have two different ways of using the holy water.
I mean, technically speaking, well, I mean, really, when you itself is poisonous to undead and unholy things. Actually, let me just real quick check. Okay, technically, there's no reason why you cannot do this. However, just as a free bit of information that I'm going to give a creature that's waiting on the other side of this, it's just immune to poison. It's just immune to poison.
Well, yeah, I wasn't saying like holy water to and still be like poison damage or what. Like, it was just something.
But allowing you to make contact in order to transfer a poison to it, technically, yes, it does that. So let's say it wasn't undead. Let's say it was just what if it was actually just a magical cereal, and they were using some sort of magic to be able to pass through walls or whatever, and therefore were temporarily incorporeal. With ghost touch on that weapon, you could still deliver the poison even when they're incorporeal. It's just that in this particular instance, the creature, besides being incorporeal, is also just straight up immune to poison. So, there you go. Okay. All right. So, actually, one other thing that would technically be a very good idea for you to here at the fucking church, and you're talking to this chatty Serenite quartermaster, because the Serenite quartermaster is also a priest. Like they are themselves a priest. They're just keeping track of all of this shit, making cells and whatnot with folks. Since you are here, since you have the option to do it, if anyone would like to make a religion check, and you do need to be trained, but you can make a religion check and you get the lower DC because you got somebody here who can talk to you about it, to get information on this potential spirit that you are going to be fighting, like actual technical information for what is it immune to and things like that.
Damn, I rolled a 3. That's fucking bad.
Oh, but this is all on y'all. I don't even think I'm gonna do it.
I'm pretty sure. Well, you have to be trained in religion.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not trained. I can't do it.
Okay. Rusi, not trained in religion.
Torque, come on.
Torque. Let's see, religion. Not trained, but Torque has a special ability that means even when she's not trained, she can still make this check.
Yes.
She just doesn't get the full like Uba Duba, so she gets to make a religion check. So you know what? She'll strike up some small talk.
Oh, they rolled the same.
I rolled a 3. This is some fucking bullshit, man.
Okay. Well, 23, however. All right. So, given what you guys have found out about the spirit, and talking with this priest who has a specialty in like fighting and destroying undead, that probably what you are dealing with is some form of wraith. Wraiths, just as a general like thing, are angry ghosts. They are, however, 100% intelligent. They're very aware of their situation as undead. They're not like, the kind of ghost that like repeats stuff from their life over and over again. They're not that kind of spirit. They are aware and they are active and they are almost always driven by some very strong emotion. Normally it's hate, but it's not always hate. There are, in fact, some situations where wraiths can kind of sort of be good, in maybe in a twisted manner, but mostly they're not good, and they're usually by strong negative emotions. So whatever that is for this particular wraith, who knows? But some things that would just be very common information to know is that if you have something that does void damage or negative damage, that will heal the wraith if you hit it. If you have something that does positive damage, then it will that will hurt the wraith.
So if I shoot it with like a healing potion, will it hurt it?
Yes, if you were to like throw a healing potion into the spot where it is, and it like just like a grenade, then yes, it will take that splatter. Sometimes the thing is that the incorporealness is really the thing that's going to fuck with you. That's the thing that's going to fuck with you.
Yeah, the incorporeal. Yeah.
It is immune to death effects. It is immune to all forms of disease. You can't poison it. It can't be rendered unconscious. You can't paralyze it. And unfortunately, and this is kind of specifically for June, it is also immune to precision-based damage, which means you can't sneak attack it.
Oh.
Well,
not
guys,
good.
I have a funny idea. You know how we were talking about its incorporealness or whatever? It could just like dip out of like being hit or whatever. You know how we're using Tim as bait? What if we like, I don't know, strap a bomb to Tim that's like surrounded in like holy water and healing potions, and then when it goes off, it just shoots a jet of liquid.
I will say, while that seems a bit wild, I have a thing called a backfire mantle. So I have a greater backfire mantle, so I get resistance 10 to any splash damage that would come from allies. So you technically could do that, and I probably wouldn't take any damage.
Yeah, so long as you don't hit him directly with a grenade.
I mean,
he
yeah.
basically walks away unfazed from any sort of like splash damage.
I mean, there's also the aspect of there being a healing potion attached to it, so it might damage him and then heal him at the same time.
I mean, yeah, there could be a little. The other thing that the Serenite quartermaster points out is that, again, depending on what kind of wraith specifically you might be dealing with, they might have the ability to cast spells. You know, like they may also be a wizard on top of being a ghost. And even if they're not a wizard, almost always they have some sort of like curse that they carry that they can often inflict onto other people. And also there is the problem that people who they do kill can potentially raise as wraiths who are usually like shackled to the control of the wraith that created them. So, you know, like if it just went about killing people and making
Well, good thing I have a
Overwhelmed.
divine scroll of remove curse that we
Yep.
unfortunately forgot we had and never used during the incident where Callie was getting cursed.
Well, technically, I suppose it's a good thing.
We'll be like Sonic, live and learn.
I mean, yeah.
Live in
The
La
one
Vida Loca.
other piece of advice that the Knight gives you is that one usually universal thing, though, with wraiths, that is something that spirit hunters amongst the Serenites are always trying to like make use of, is the fact that they usually will discorporate in sunlight. If you can catch them in direct sunlight, they will basically evaporate. It might not kill them, but it will make them a whole hell of a lot.
Then Callie's next question is what happens if I shoot them with a laser? Does that count as taking out the sunlight and just shooting them with it?
Unfortunately, no.
Damn it.
Beams of light don't really do anything special to them. But if it is holy light, well, as we've already discussed, holy light, holy damage of any sort is bad for them. But if it actually counts as sunlight, like say it's provided by a spell that says it counts as sunlight, or you're actually creating an Archimedes death beam by like focusing actual sunlight, then yes, that does affect them.
I do got this staff of illumination.
Yeah, it's not light. It has to be literally sunlight or actual holiness.
Well, the third level spell that the Staff of Illumination can cast is Everlight, Holy Light. So yeah,
Yes.
I could just shoot them with Holy Light. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got that
it's
option as well.
it's once per day laser that it can do is holy damage. So yes, that will affect a wraith.
I still need to install that laser onto Mr. Service. Yeah.
It reminds. I don't know if this is like a spoiler for Baldur's Gate 3. I actually don't even know the context of it, but I saw a clip of Astorian, the vampire, basically gets blasted by a laser, and there's a dialogue option. It's like, I thought you were immune to sunlight. And he's like, well, I guess there's a limit. Either a nice sunny day or the concentrated power of the fucking sun.
Yeah, I think anybody would die from that.
I mean,
That's not a light weakness. That's just a beam weakness, bro. Everything has that.
Damn.
there is a point where sometimes like there's all this magical hoo-ha and whatnot, but then physics just comes in and drops its dick on the table, and it's just like,
It's like, yeah, everything is weak if you have enough sunlight. It's called skin cancer.
Everybody's got a
I
plant
mean,
to
like-
be
yeah.
kicked in the face.
I mean, if we didn't have our magnetic sphere, we would be being hit with so much solar radiation it would kill all life on planet Earth. So yeah, the sun
Crispy
is a
fried.
deadly laser. That meme of the sun is a deadly laser is not far off.
I mean, if we wanted to kill every single undead on the planet, all we would have to do is remove Halfus's magnetos. I mean, it would kill everything else, but it would get rid of all the
All the undead would be gone, and so would everything
that,
else.
Yeah, it would be like that one fucking disaster movie where like the sun, like the Earth's like
The day the Earth stood still.
No. Like, there's another one where like the Earth's magnetic sphere is like being damaged because the molten core stops being molten or whatever. Like, and then the Earth stops spinning or whatever.
The core stopped spinning.
Yeah.
And there is like it's so stupid because they like launch a mission that goes down to the Marianas Trench to then start burrowing into the earth
with the drill
to get down to the core so that they can.
And the way when the way they want to restart the core is so stupid too, because they got to nuke the core or whatever. I'm like, alrighty then, I guess.
It was part of that slate of action movies in the late 90s, early 2000s, where the answer was to just nuke the ever-loving shit out of the thing that was a threat to the Earth.
Oh, what's even stupider is you find out at the very end of the movie is the reason why the core stopped spinning is because like the U.S. government developed some kind of technology that managed to stop the core of the Earth from spinning or whatever, and you're like, what the fuck, dude?
The other thing that's really stupid is they're like, but there's no way you could drill to the center of the Earth because of all of these like, normal fucing reasons that, basic science, and they're like, okay, but we think that there's one thing that we could make the drill out of that would survive this, and they go find this like disgraced scientist or whatever, and he's a materials scientist, and he's put together this like super alloy type metal, and he's like, yeah, we could build a fucking drill, and it would get all the way down to the center of the Earth, no problem. And they're like, oh, what do you call it? And he just like, and it does that like slow pan where he like looks at the camera and he's unobtainium.
Oh, I didn't know it was in the Avatar universe.
Oh my
Wow.
Oh god, it's such cheese.
It's so 2003 because that's when the movie came out and it's called The Core.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, that's what the Serenite quartermaster provides you with some equipment. Also provides you with some heads up on how wraiths work. So now you know that information. It is now, I'm going to say, about 4 p.m. You have roughly an hour or so before sundown.
Let's go to the library.
Run! Tim like picks Callie up and fucking let's go.
He does his fucking power walk or whatever. Like he starts running like he starts running like the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
Just perfectly efficient running.
Fucking Jamal just looks at June and like, are they ever gonna change?
Did they say?
Yes, we're gonna change. We're gonna change the world.
We're gonna change the world by.
Did they say where they were going, or they just kind of up and started running?
No, we just started running.
He said library and then just sprinted in a random direction.
Yeah, Torque is like, I think they said that they were going to the.
Do they even know where the library is?
And like, yeah, and then she like turns and looks at the guard, who's the one who's been escorting you guys around, because you don't know where anything is, and she's like, "Are they even going in the right direction for the library?" And he's like, "Generally."
Generally,
I knew it.
Generally.
My instincts tell me the library's in this direction.
On it.
So after like a minute of just like watching you guys like get to the main fucking middle of the city right here, and then like flounder your way around as your library. They catch back up with you, and the guard's like, and it is not actually very far. Over here, under this big clump of trees, is where they keep their primary, quote unquote, public library. It is where like most of the mages who are not of significantly advanced age, tend to hang out, that sort of thing. There is like they literally have like a small college, and everything over there. There's even like a little like wing for like a bard school. But yeah, So they just lead you to that pizza wedge shaped area over there, and they're like, "Yep, this is where all that's located at." What are you looking for at the library?
Basically information on the town, soul gems in general, and maybe Tim specifically is going to look for any reports on like automaton activity.
I saw that.
Well, yeah, Tim. I mean, if Callie wants to, I assume Callie's looking for like soul gems specifically, and Tim is also like soul gems and maybe anything about automaton area.
Yeah, probably a bit more about the town we're going to as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's probably what you would tell the guard. We're like merchants, and we're learning more about the next town over that we were trying to do, that we wanted to originally go to for trade and whatnot.
Yeah.
What town are you going to?
Oh, what's the town called again?
Showbury.
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 Oh,
Showbury.
I've been there once.
How is it?
It's up in the. Well, you know, it's a big town. It's got a river flowing through it, and there's a. I'm stalling as I'm like pulling up my notes.
I'm gonna find what it actually is like.
He's like, well, like he points over, you know, at like, because you guys can see like the wall that goes around Oakham. He's like, well, imagine that, but like pushed out like a whole lot, and then there's just a whole lot more town on the other side of the wall too. Also, the like the main keep there is really big, and they've got an entire area that's called Market Town, which is just merchants with goods from like all over the place. Before you guys like showed up, most of the imperial goods that I've seen back over in Market Town.
Yeah, Callie kind of like Liza was like, yeah, that's why we're going, trying to hide the fact that she's really there for the soul gems.
Yeah.
Well, you know, as far as this guy knows, you guys are supposed to be merchants, traders.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're apparently pretty mercurial, but like, you're still traders, so that tracks. Like he points out that like here in Oakham there is the like Dawn Market area that's kind of like the north part of town. There's a Dawn Market also in Showbury, but it's like the size of this entire town.
Oh my god!
And whatnot. He says the coolest place that he ever went when he was in Showbury is there is a there's one of the town gates in the wall is called Underbark, and there is a bar there called the Underbar. And the Underbar, he says they serve like, you know, all your standard sort of like meat, but they've got some like hard liquor that they brew in one of the like abandoned mine shafts up there, and that stuff, it's like spicy and sweet, and don't ever take more than 2 shots like one after the other, or you won't wake up until like next Tuesday.
That reminds me of that scene in Age of Ultron where fucking Thor is passing out like mead that was like brewed in like the Yggdrasil tree or whatever.
Just like,
and then you have that one war veteran who's like, so was Omaha Beach. It was not made for ordinary man. And then he's just like, he's being fucking like carried out.
But yeah, he says there's a place called that's near Underbark Gate that serves some pretty fucking like strong hard liquor that is brewed in one. But outside of that, if you guys want to do research on Showbury, well, that's going to be society checks. And you don't technically need to be trained in this one, so
yeah.
everybody can make one.
I was gonna say, I think I have pretty good. There we go. We live
We
in
do.
one.
That's like Callie's second best skill is her society.
Wow, I rolled a 19.
I
do also want to ask: is there a restricted section in this library?
Yes, there is a restricted section.
All right.
Damn, I don't know shit.
And unlike the restricted section that was in,
Oh damn.
this one has guards.
Well, you know, we might not need to worry about the guards because Callie might just activate her invis room and just walk past them.
I mean, assuming that they don't have a defense versus invisible thing.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's a.
I want to do that. I want to go use my. I'm gonna use my invisible rune, like activate it for my one-time use. And I'm gonna go into the restricted section, and I want to go see if there's anything like cool there that I want to steal.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's like one would. Like, yeah.
All right.
Like a
so,
Callie and her infinite search of pursuit of
are
knowledge.
you going to alert the rest of the party that you're going to do this?
Let's be real. Or is she really?
She's gonna like tap. She'll tap like Rusi on the side and like in Aqua and be like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna go like sneak in the restricted section, maybe steal a couple books or something."
Okay. Scream, yell real loud if you need help.
All right.
All right. Hold on a second, because we got to make some checks here.
Tim.
All right.
Does Tim see Callie go invisible?
Well,
I mean, are you right with me?
I would assume so. I came with you.
Do we need to make?
Then, yeah.
Oh, I say, do we need to make checks if we see her go invisible?
okay. Because she tells Rusi. Rusi isn't going to tell the rest of the party that Kelly's doing this. Because obviously she said it in Aquan and she whispered it to him. So clearly she's not like supposed to... She wants him to know, but she doesn't want anybody else to know. So he's not going to say anything. So yeah, the rest of the party make... no. Let's do this. Let's do this correctly. Okay, so what is your stealth DC?
It's the number in the circle plus 10, right?
That is correct.
It is a 22.
Okay, so it is a 22 for your basic stealth DC. So then we need to add what invisibility to it. So invisibility, let's see here.
My thing was Tim was just going to ask if Callie wanted some additional help because Tim would have walked up to one of the guards and had been started conversing.
Okay, so
maybe a good.
Well, that was kind of the question that I was asking because you wanted the rest of the party to like make a distraction, kind of thing.
Probably, yeah. Maybe. Well, if that's the case, then Callie will tell.
Because how many guards are there?
There are a lot. There are a lot of well-armed, properly placed guards here. And unlike the guard who's been floating 2 inches off of the ground, crawling along with you guys for directions. These guys have a they have an air about them that places them above the standard guard. Okay, so Callie
makes me want to steal whatever's in there even more. Then now,
it does look like they are serious about guarding whatever is in there. Okay, so Callie with invisibility, you are to the guards hidden. So when you are hidden, they do get the option to like try to spot check you out, but they will need to basically do like an actual like search to find you, and if you want to prevent them from making then you would need somebody in the party to cause a distraction.
So
that they can't focus on you.
Somebody cause a distraction, please.
And I'll just go ahead and let you know their passive is higher than your passive stealth.
Oh yeah, I know. I imagine. No way. Yeah, I'll have somebody. I'll tell Tim to like please distract the guards while I pass by and steal whatever's in the restricted section.
Okay,
all right.
I'm like, June, the real question is, are we really gonna witness? Are we really looking at this or paying any mind to this?
Well, yeah, like obviously I'm not meditating. Like, you know,
Torque leans down to Jamal and she says, you know, quietly, is like, she's got to learn eventually. Everybody has to spend that 4-minute night in jail.
So that's the thing. Like, we do see Callie doing this. Like, it's not like, because I thought you were saying that Callie is like, you know, being stealthy about this and not like, you know.
No. Like Callie's natural stealth is not enough to get past all of the present people in the party.
Okay.
So like you guys would know that she is like
no good.
At a point when you guys are slightly distant from everybody else, there's enough, you know, enough privacy that she can reach up, touch the rune to activate the rune to go invisible. You do see her lean over to Lucy and whisper something in a language you don't speak.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I
don't with the curtain on. That part's all obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If Tim's gonna do this, let me try. Let me do something real quick before we start. Can I do some kind of check to see which of the guards seems a little bit emotionally softer? Now I know that's a bit of an odd question, but I have a plan if I can like maybe do insight check to be like which one doesn't seem quite as hard.
Okay. Tim,
oh boy.
Make a perception check to see which one of these guards is emotionally vulnerable.
This is a wild.
That ain't fucking hard. That ain't fucking high enough. You don't know.
I'm spending a point. I have a point.
Like, these guys are all
he got
British royal guards. Yeah, these guys are all fucking British royal guards, specifically paid to like stand there stoically.
Okay. Do they? I guess there's no other way to do it than to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna have Brick. Brick is going to like basically like look like he's scooting out from under my legs, and then it's gonna go like paw at the foot of one of the guards as just like a pet me kind of face.
Okay, so you're gonna send the robot dog over there to beg for pets.
Yeah.
What the dog doing?
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Let's see here.
Cool. The fact it's funny that he doing that and like Jamal's not there, like they're not paying no attention. See Jamal a dog as well, but okay, we see how this goes.
Callie learned from the best, all right. She learned all of this from her dad. Okay.
Okay. Here's the action.
Oh my god!
Creating a diversion. Okay, so then I'm going to need Brick to make a deception check. The DC is 25.
Okay, can't get it. Brick has a -1 to deception.
Oh.
Okay. Then he can't do it. So since Brick can't cause enough of a distraction for these guards,
can I have Dr. Trevor's like writing on the back of just say like I place him on top of the back of Brick and have him help out with the distraction, or have him maybe distract even more.
I mean, yeah.
He's got a higher deception.
Okay.
Way higher deception.
Then okay, so you place Dr. Tremors on there, which means Tremors isn't invisible, and he's not touching Callie. So he rides the dog over to the guards. Dr. Tremors then will need to make a deception check, DC 25.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So, a robot dog, like a big robot dog, clip-clops over to where one of the guards is, and sits down and does the, like, slow wag of tail, whimper. What is Dr. Tremors doing to cause this distraction?
I'm
Talking to them?
Yes, he probably would. He probably would be like in a copycat voice, be like, "Pets, I want pets. Pets, give me pets. I want pets. I want pets
Fuck.
right now.
I want pets. Fuck.
That's me.
Yep.
So, yeah, Dr. Tremors start mimicking for that. So, one of the guards, like, you see the guard who's there, like, do his utmost for, like, a full round to, like, ignore this. But then he finally, like, looks over at Dr. Tremors and the robot dog and, like, looks around. And the nearest other guard, like, you see them share, like, a, like, shrug, like, yeah. And so he goes over, he is distracted, and he begins to pet Dr. Tremors and Brick. So, since he is effectively distracted, he has been diverted. Let's see here. When you are successful, okay. All right then. This allows Callie to actually make the sneak check, which the sneak check is done in secret. So, what is Callie's actual, like, stealth check modifier?
Stealth check?
Yeah. Not the DC, but the actual check. Like, what's the number before you add 10?
It's a 12.
It's a 12. Okay. So, I'm going to roll dice and then compare it to the stuff here. So, Callie sneaks. She walks invisibly into the into the forbidden section.
Things look like they're starting to go well. I have something for this. Don't worry.
Okay, so Callie, you get into the forbidden section. You are immediately presented, however, with another challenge. Once you go around the corner into the, like, you slip past the guards, the guy who's, like, petting the animals. You get around behind him. He doesn't seem to notice anything. But you come around the corner, and there is a locked gate. And then on the other side of the locked gate, there is a mostly empty room with several tables and shelves of books along the walls and several display cases at the far end.
Is there anybody around me? Is there, like,
no.
a security? All right, can I...
The security guard that is currently being distracted is about 10 feet behind you and around a corner.
Okay. Can I pour acid into the lock?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
right.
Carry acid on you, so...
Yeah, let's just pour acid in the lock and open it. Yeah.
All right.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll for how many, like, minutes it takes for your acid to, like, eat through this lock. Because this is not a bad lock. This is a powerful. Okay. And the thing is, your invisibility only lasts 10 minutes. All right, you've got 5 minutes of invisibility left when it finally burns through and clicks open. So you've got 5 minutes. You're essentially alone in a room that is 20 feet wide and 50 feet long, and at the other end of that 50 feet, there is a bank of display cases, like glass enclosed display cases, which are themselves also locked, and then rows of shelves of books and a couple of other little random knickknack items that are on either side of you. There is an upper level, just so that you are aware, there is an upper which does have guards on it that down into this area. But they don't react to you or to the opening of the gate, which does swing into the hallway, not into the room.
Okay. Do I go for the display case things or the things in the shelf is the question? Because if
display, I can almost promise, out of character meta, I can almost promise that those display cases trapped.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely trapped. Okay, can I skim the bookshelf then? See what's in the bookshelf then?
You can totally skim the bookshelf.
Let's see.
On the left bookshelf from when you enter. So on the left, that wall seems to be dedicated to books that have a mark on there, which Callie, being the studious person that she is familiar. Like, this is a mark that also is the Empire, and it is usually basically a mark that they put on this banned book. Normally because the person who wrote it or the topic thereof is considered to be harmful or detrimental to like society at large.
Well then I guess Callie will open up her bag of holding and just start throwing in some of these books, I guess, with the banned marks on them.
Okay, that's going to be another check versus the guards who can. All right. So Kelly's got a plus 12. One of the guards turns and looks in your direction. Like he's kind of heard something, and he steps forward, so he's at the railing. The other guard, seeing the other guard do this, also steps forward and starts doing a deeper scan into the room. What's going on down in there? So, Callie, you have managed to collect. Let me just roll a d6 here. You've managed to collect 5 books.
Ooh, okay. I'm fine with that.
You've got 5 books. They are seconds away from noticing the gate door is open, and also there's a hole in the shelf for 5 books.
Oh yeah, we're leaving.
Wait, you tell me. Wait, did you actually take the books from the display?
Yeah. No. I didn't touch the display because they were locked and they probably had traps in them.
Okay. So as you are walking out the door, Callie, you hear behind you one of the guards go, the gate's open, and then you hear the like thump thump of steps up above you, and then the cling 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 of a bell being. When you come to the corner, the guy who was petting Dr. Trimmers has looked up, hearing the bell go cling clang clang, and he's turning around to come down the hallway to check the gate that you just left behind.
In this moment, Tim is going to be like, God, where did you go? There you are, Brick! And then is going to rush towards Brick and have Brick trip him up and fully just fall 200 onto this fucking dude. Just like, Brick, there you whoa! Just like on him as much as I can.
All right then, I need you then to versus the guard.
To make a what?
Deception check, please.
I'm like Jamal, Torque, and June just minding their own business, just probably reading some books, acting like none of this is happening.
Like Torque is very busy, like not looking in that direction, like unassociated with anything that's going on right now.
Tim probably cannot get higher than a 17 because he only has +3 to deception.
Yeah, that's unfortunately not going to be enough to further distract the guard, which means the guard then gets to make an active strike.
I don't need to distract him. I just need him to not make it down the hall, even if I'm just like taking. Oh God! I can apologize later. I just need him to not hit Callie.
All right then. Here's what we're gonna do. Callie, I want you to roll a perception check. We're going to do momentary initiative. And if you beat the guard, then you manage to slip out of the hall before he walks.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Oh, that's not good. I might re-roll that.
Wait, that was
Those
Yeah,
are
perception.
you're going to re-roll that. You're going to want to re-roll that.
Yeah, I'm re-rolling that. That's fucking awful. Okay, it's a little better.
Okay, that is better. And importantly, that is just enough. The dude made a 21.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, so he very briefly paused to look down at Tim, and Tim, you can quite clearly see like his eyebrow like shoots up as he's just like, which by the way, are you in disguise? Are you full automaton mode?
I'm full automaton right now.
Okay, yeah, you see his eyebrow like shoot up as he's just like, robot man, weird. And then like, but I've got something to do. And then he turns, but that brief moment of window there gives Callie the room to like slip out right before he turns and walks into the space that she was. She was
in. Callie. Yeah. Jamal agrees.
I got $5 out of this. This is pretty good, honestly. Add to the collection.
You rolled a D5. You rolled a 5 out of a D6. That's pretty good. Luck was on your side.
It's probably a good thing I didn't go for the display case items.
You'd gotten one book and they'd immediately been on.
Okay, so Callie invisibly gets out of the way. The guard walks down the hallway, sees the door, and then he immediately comes rushing back out.
Tim's like
immediately comes rushing out, goes over to a wall, pulls open like a panel in the wall, grabs a rope, pulls the rope several times to like ring another distant bell, and then he immediately moves back over to the gate and takes up, immediately filling up the space with his own body, weapons out, to continue to guard this space.
We probably should leave.
So yeah, with the guards all activating, everybody else who's just a regular like patron or student or whatever is all just like, we should probably vacate this area. There may be something going on. Also, haven't people been dying recently? Oh no, it could be that. We're going to start floating in the air. So people are moving. People are moving. It's not a panic or anything like that, but people are vacating the area.
Did we do any of the like research on the fucking soul gems or automata?
Nope.
Or anything?
Nope. You didn't do any of that.
No.
Callie just shot straight for it.
Damn it!
Callie was just
I thought
straight out the gate.
Well,
You win some, you lose some.
Once this happens and Tim realizes, oh fuck, we didn't get any of the fucking that's when Tim gets a bit like, what the?
I mean, we still got some information though from that one guard though, so it's not like a
Torque, however,
we got location about a bar.
Torque, however, after you guys have like stepped out, she like pulls open her
Google.
Pulls open her top and like slips out a thin like pamphlet thing that she lifted while you guys were in there that is a modern map guide to Showberry. This seems like it would be important.
God, I could kiss you, Torque. Thank you. God. Fuck.
Well, technically you can't. You don't even have lips.
Tim immediately gets self-conscious. Is like, you're right. I don't.
Is
Callie still invisible? Is she still like standing there, still invisible?
You've still got like 2 minutes left on your invisibility.
Yeah, Callie's like standing there. He's like, well, I mean, he technically got lips. I mean, if you count where like the sound comes out of for his like voice or whatever, that would count as lips, right?
Well, I mean, I guess like. Well, I mean, I guess if you meant like it represents lips, but like he physically has a grill.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, making me think about it, Callie, I don't even noises, and I don't want to know. I don't want a science Like, suddenly I'm thinking, how exactly does Tim actually talk? How does Tim make noise?
You are right. I could explain
Well,
the
it could-
but I could not
it could go
understand
beep,
it for
beep.
you.
Beep boop or
I could
points.
explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. So
Tim points to two little like dents in the wood on his forehead from where like dinked his.
Look, I
don't got lips.
I'm not a dummy or anything, but there's so many layers of science that I would have basics of how we make sound. I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah,
if that's okay by you.
Understandable.
it's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, but hey, at least we did snag a map to the place that we're going, and it's got some about that location. So
Great.
I'll read over this stuff and get kind of up to date on that. But we should probably keep on walking so that they don't start like frisking people.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a good idea. In fact, yeah. Kelly's gonna pick up Dr. Trevor and be like, "Oh, you did so good. You were good."
So
good
Callie's
dog.
no longer invisible, or
And he says, "Fuck." Well, she's still got 2 minutes. She's still got 2 minutes.
okay. Well, she
Yeah, so Dr. Tremors is just like floating in the air.
He's
June,
floating, and then the hug, he disappears.
June kind of like paws her
gonna
hand
imagine-
like roughly where she imagines Callie's face to be, just like until like she like you know, like think of like where somebody's blind, like they like are just like feeling out. She kind of does that, trying to like feel where Callie is.
She's quite solidly there.
Okay, so Callie doesn't get out of the way.
Callie, oh yeah, no, she does. She's like, Callie would be like, "What are you doing?"
All right. So June like
Also, that's not my head, by the way.
okay. Then she goes up higher. She goes up higher till she like feels like the cheeks and the hair, and then she flicks Callie in the forehead, and she says, "What exactly did you do to set off an alarm in a goddamn library?"
I stole 5 restricted items.
And why?
Because they hold forbidden knowledge.
I want the knowledge.
That's true.
I feel like all knowledge should be free, honestly.
You know what?
Can Jamal chimes in and say,
That's what my dad always taught me. Knowledge should be free.
Jamal is like, oh, and Jamal chimes in like, you know, Callie, but
NPC
some
come up
things, you know, Callie, but sometimes some things should just be left behind. What you did definitely might have cost us a lot of fucking time.
I mean, Tim like types in at this point. It's like they have no clue it's any of us.
Well, think of it.
Just so long as we
this
don't
way.
dink around anymore.
We hope that they don't have any clue that it.
Think of it this way. They saw Tim and Brick and also Dr. Tremors just before the alarm went off. I'm pretty sure they are smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. Let's just hope that we settle our. Let's just hope that they take. By the time they figure it out, we're long gone. Let's keep going before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
We don't have time to argue about this. Let's just keep walking and just like speed walking away from the library.
All right. Well, as you are power walking your way away from the guard, like the regular guard, who has been like escorting you guys, he comes floating down from the sky with like a bagel, because he like drifted off while you guys were like doing whatever the fuck you were doing, and he comes back down and like catches up with you guys as you're like walking through the big town square, and he's like munching on a bagel, and he's like, sundown's gonna be in about like 30-40 minutes. Technically,
We're gonna waste that much time stealing forbidden books.
Technically speaking, the Jarl walking you guys around until the end of my shift, which is at sundown. So, is there any final places you want me to point you towards?
I mean, basically just wherever all of this stuff has been happening, so we can get set up.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we still going through with that plan of like strapping a bomb to Tim or something?
I'm down. It's a very unlikely thing that I would get hurt by it. So.
All right. Well, then he
Well,
guides you. He guides the party over to the
uh,
major Ashtide road. Like this is the Ashtide district, and if you keep going down this road, eventually you gate. You know that sort of thing. So he basically just leads the party to this intersection. And he says, if you follow this road down, and I will put a little marker of the map for it here. Let me map tokens. Handy dandy X. Come on.
the handy dandy thinking notebook. I'm sorry.
There we go. All right. The handy dandy X. So the handy dandy X. He says, if you go down to this building down here, that is where you can probably find Mr. Dougal and ask him what's been going on in the Ashtide district. You know, if you want to, or you can do whatever it is that people think that you can do to help. Either way, I'm going off duty, and hopefully tomorrow when I come back on duty, I won't be finding any of your bodies floating in the smoke. But I will do my damnedest to reclaim it, you know, if I find you.
We should be alright. My body can't float.
Good luck. And then he just like reverse Mercy's fucking frame with his bagel and leaves you guys there on the street.
That guy's got to be evil. He's eating a bagel at like 9 at night.
It's payday. It's like a bagel.
Mm.
Like now, it's like, is Tim just saying that, or you just saying that?
I'm saying that. Tim doesn't know. Should we go ask this guy? I don't know. It seems to be just this entire district, but should we ask him if there's like maybe a quadrant that it's most common in?
I mean, can he give us any information we don't already know?
Potentially. He's like the Ashtide district guy, so I would place them.
Yeah, the way that he has Dougal is a business owner, although that's in quotation marks. But he is a business owner who is in the like charcoal business and all that sort of stuff. He is a advocate for the rights of non-humans here in Oakumsea, and that sort of thing. He helps people with finding housing, and he also like sets up people with jobs. He works with you know, the people of the Ashtide who are primarily very poor. So like, you know, those are the kind of people that he works, you know, that he works with, salt of the earth type characters and all that.
Yes.
But he is specifically, we're told that he's a big dude. He's a troll, and he has been basically a citizen. I mean, well, he is a citizen, but like, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He's been a citizen here for like over 20 years. So, you know, works for him. But again, you know, he's a troll. So yeah, he probably knows this district like the back of his hand, like, kind of like. So he may be able to give you some more insight. Know specifics of where people have gone missing, where other bodies have been recovered, you know, all that sort of jazz.
Yeah.
I guess we should talk to him then.
Yeah.
He'd probably be helpful.
All right.
Callie's like leaning over to her brother in Aqua, and she says, "I got 5 books, by the way."
Are they 5 useful books?
They had a forbidden seal on them, so probably.
Like, but are they useful to this specific situation? Are we talking big picture?
We talking big picture right here.
Okay.
Talking big picture.
I just hope it's worth it because, you know,
I mean,
your friends do have a point. If they figure out that it was us, we're basically banned for life from there.
I mean, if they find out that it is.
If. Let's make sure it stays an if.
You know, I mean, they don't have any proof that it was us. I didn't leave anything behind that could tie back to us in any way.
I mean, I hope so. Let's just look, Cal. I don't think that these people are really actually. You know, like, I imagine if we piss these people off enough, they don't give a shit about evidence and just cause. Like, you heard how the old wizard guy talked to us.
But if we also do a really good job on this current mission, they might not give a shit enough to care. They might overlook it.
Yeah, maybe. Let's just try to make sure that they don't figure it out.
At that time, Tim pushes open the door and goes, "What's up?"
Well, Tim, the building that you come up to is a 2-story building. It is a fairly large building, and when you get there to the door, there is a sign on the outside. The sign. Let me bring up my notes again here. The sign. It says. It's got Ogrim and Ustav, as a name, kind of thing. Ogrim and Ustav, charcoal, building supplies, residential, on the sign. And when you open the door, you get a pretty nice looking, waiting room, several chairs. There's a fireplace that's got fire crackling in it. It's nice and warm in here. Which also, it should be noted, the sun's going down, and you guys are walking into the Ash-type district. And true to its name, all of the snow that is everywhere, all the snow that's been swept out of the streets and piled up in the corners and is on top of the roofs and all that sort of stuff, it's basically black. There is a light snowing of ash that is coming down in this area, even though it's actually snowing actual snow right now. So it's pretty thick. But in this building, there's a little mud section essentially where you walk in and can ash off of you before you enter into the there's some nice well-appointed chairs and all that sort of stuff, and there is a little raised section, and in the back where there is a very large desk, and sitting behind that desk there is a very large man, and I need to make a quick dice roll. Let me check something here.
All right.
Tim gets chest checked by this giant creature. He just throws a boulder at him.
You know what? He probably could. It's obviously he's not standing.
He goes in.
He's very clearly a troll.
He goes in for a hug and he snaps your back.
He's not standing, but just from the sway of his,
he goes in for a hug and he snaps your back.
Yeah,
and the size of his head and that sort of thing. This guy's probably taller than Gloria by a good foot or two. He's taller than Gloria. His shoulders are broader than her hips.
Do we get that information from the massive door leading into his place?
Well, I mean, there is the door that you walk human, but there is a there is a set of double doors, tall double doors that's behind him that leads onto other parts of the building. But yeah, you just walk in here and there's fucking medieval kingpin just sitting there in the back, like complete with a cigar in his mouth, and as he's like reading something on his desk. But he looks up when you guys enter in, and he kind of chews and rolls the cigar in his mouth, and he says over to you guys like, "Wipe your feet before you come on back."
Yeah. Tim like scrapes off the bottom of his unshoed feet.
You folks new in town?
Yeah, we're here on request of the what was the guy's name?
The Euro.
The Jarl. The Jarl.
Jarl.
We're
The
here
Jarl.
on request
His
of
name,
the
so
Jarl.
that you know, is his name is Jarl Bulger.
Oh,
And
Bulger, yeah. Figured that
Y'all
out
been
because
bogan.
he was wearing a name tag called Bulger when we saw him.
He's
How coincidental.
He was noted as Jarl Bulger. But he the big guy Dougal like transfers cigar to the other like corner of his mouth, and he's like, "You here for work or you here for housing? Or maybe both."
Neither, actually.
We're here
Come
to
here.
we're here to see if we can help you figure out your issue.
Your random murders in the middle of the night problem.
Oh, that. Yeah, I guess it's a problem. Anyway, how can I help you folks?
We were, I guess, to get some direct help from you, our biggest question was if you happen to know if there's a tide district that these attacks happen, even if it's a slight more frequent, somewhere that it's like slightly more likely.
I don't know, actually. Now that you mention it, I haven't exactly track.
Is it all over? Because we heard there was like up to 20 people missing. Is there like an area where the missing people are more concentrated, or is it scattered?
It's pretty scattered. Were there 20 plus? Maybe there were 20 plus.
They said something. The guards that told us said something.
Can I do an
20
insight or like a
people.
perception check on this guy?
You may do a perception check. What are you trying to insight?
Just, like, for somebody who was like, basically, from what I heard, the kind of voicing of the Ashtide district, he seems a bit like disconnected.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Go ahead, make that check.
Understandable.
I was like, well, we are
Ooh,
all.
damn, bro.
Ooh, yeah,
Tim had a
very-
hunch and he went with it.
Okay. Well, yeah, he does seem kind of disconnected, given everything that you guys have said before. Although he doesn't seem to be mocking or like pretending to be confused. He does seem to be like actually a little confused over the numbers. But he pushes back from his desk, pulls out a drawer, or opens up a drawer, and he pulls out a big like sheet of paper, which he unrolls on his desk. As you guys are coming forwards, you can see it's a map of the Ashtide district, and there are notations on a bunch of different buildings. And this is all written in Jotun, but hey, guess what, Tim? You know Jotun.
I speak Jotun.
So,
Yo.
what you see a bunch of marks on buildings that denote whether or not there is currently a tenant in that building and whether that tenant is currently paid up on their rent. And there are about 18 or 19 locations on there that say that they are currently open that there is no tenant in that place, and also back-owed rent paid in full. That is noted on all of them. There is also other notations of other locations which have tenants in them, and there are like let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Maybe
7.
this is
There's 7 locations on there that had the empty label on them that have within the last 24 hours he's marked on here that there is a tenant in there and that they have paid their rent.
Maybe it's not necessarily that he's disconnected. Maybe it's that the government and the rest of the city just doesn't need to tell him what they've told us currently.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they gave us full access to the bodies. Maybe they didn't do that similar courtesy to him. They just feel the need to tell him anything.
He kind of rubs his big wide chin as he's looking down at this map as you guys walk up, and he's like,
actually, yeah, I guess it was a bit more than 20. I filled in these other ones just earlier today, so they're not on the market anymore. This is how I keep track of them. Normally, I got people in all of these locations, but seems to be past couple of years, January rolls around and it opens up.
Vacancies.
And those vacancies, they're not good for business, but it does give other people the opportunity to move into the city and behind the protective walls. So maybe there's some tragedy, connected to it. And I feel bad about that. But I also get to offer people security, safety, and if they want it, a job. And almost all of them want the job too. So,
at the expense of people, I guess.
According, though you asked if there was any specific space, and I don't know. I'm not an expert on anything like this, but this distribution seems pretty random to me. There's these two over here, which are kind of close.
I do have to ask, is there any current tenants that haven't paid their rent? People that asking the question of, are there people that may be missing here?
Well,
in the last couple of days.
That's gonna take me another piece of paper to that one. Don't give me a.
And so he pulls out a big drawer, pulls out a big long spreadsheet that is very meticulous on apartment number and whether or not the tenant is employed at that location or is employed at a different. What the rent is, whether they've paid, all of that sort of stuff is denoted on this. And he's like,
well, everybody's paid up at the moment, although I got I got 6, 7 people on here. No, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's only 4. Yeah, only 4 people that rent's due, but I haven't paid yet. The other 3 on here, they're dependent. They don't pay rent, children and all that.
Oh, alrighty. Of those 4, how many are elderly or children? Or not, sorry, you already eliminated the children. Are elderly or of an age? What's the word for it? Because I'm trying to think of because the attacks were of opportunity. I'm thinking I'm trying to limit it down to.
You mean maybe disabled or something?
Disabled. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah, disabled or elderly. Yeah.
Well, let's see. This guy right here, he's kind of an old man. Long beard, gray hair. I don't know how old he is, actually. I don't keep track of that information. But, yeah, he's an older guy. No dependents with him. Then these other three, well, one of them could be old. Again, I guess, maybe. These other two, these ladies, I don't know. I mean, they're adults. And he kind of, and like, you see like his like little beady slide over into June, and he's like older than her, but like not a lot older, I guess. Ma'am, are you wearing makeup? Because I mean, you don't look very old, but there could be a makeup thing.
June says, "No, I don't actually."
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely older than you, but not like a lot old.
Is that like
maybe plus a decade or so?
Out of character? Is that like a compliment or like a good thing or a bad thing? Like, are they saying like?
Well, I mean, he is commenting that you look young.
Young. Okay. Yeah. For a second, I thought he was saying.
Yeah, he is commenting that you look young. He's doing it in a very roundabout, awkward manner, but like he is saying, you look young. They're older than they're visually older than you, but he doesn't know how old you are. Mm-hmm. Just that you're very clearly an adult.
Sorry.
Tim goes over, speaks to like in a moment, and it's just like it starts speaking in Jotun to him, and just asks like, "Are there any vacancies open near the older individual, or the older seeming individual, the one with the long beard?"
Well, I mean, there's two that are within like a block. I mean, how near you talking?
So we have a plan to attempt to stop whatever the creature that is doing this, and we've found somewhat of a pattern between its attacks of solitary and opportunistic attacks, kind of. It seems mostly like anybody quickly and easily, it goes for it. And so, seeing as you have some people who are maybe a little bit old, are late on rent, and are...
Maybe it's, Kelly chimes in, maybe it's people that nobody really would miss if they were gone.
That'd be sad if that were the case. I would hope somebody would miss me if I was gone.
I miss you.
Well,
you just met him.
Thank you, Robot Man.
Thank you, Metal Man.
Man's a sweetheart. I like him.
Like my boss, well, former boss, I guess. He's gone now. I miss him. I mean, he left his son behind and everything. Technically speaking, he is the one who owns the business. He's the Ustav that's on the sign outside. His dad, Orgrim, me and him, we good buddies for a long time. I worked for him as muscle, I am a big, strong guy. Makes plenty of sense. But we see I am Trosh, and he was human. We got along, like... what's that saying that is in Empire? Like corns in a pod. We were close, tight, like that. And well, when he got sick about 4 years ago, and it became clear he was going to pass away, he wanted to give business over to me. But now, I'm sure, even though you've been here just a day or two, you know how it is in this part of the world. They don't let people actually own businesses. Well, as it turns out, his son, Ustav, he also very sickly. I mean, he good lad, but he couldn't run this business. He couldn't do it for for a day. So he owns business, but I'm the one. You know, I know all of the ins and outs. I know the people to talk to. I keep track of the dates. I handle all of the money, the financial stuff, moving goods in and out, getting the charcoal all set up and moved. You know, whenever one of these tragedies happen, I'm pretty on the ball with getting that place filled back in pretty soon. You know, making sure that the income and profit, you know, keep coming in, just like the boss. But
so maybe he's not ignorant. He's just very profit orientated, and that's what's caused the kind of disconnect.
That makes sense. He's like a businessman first and foremost.
Yeah, he seems like a very like numbers orientated person. Maybe it's not that somebody hasn't told him. Maybe it's just more like he's more like I said, he's just numbers and statistics orientated. Where it's like, oh, he sees a vacancy, he opens it up. You know what I mean? He's more focused on the job than he is of the current issues and whatnot.
All right. Well,
Torque nods and towards the chair.
do you mind if we won't be, you know, renting out a vacancy? We won't be staying for very long. Mind if we would stay in one of the buildings for just a night, hoping to see if we can catch whatever this thing is?
well, that's too bad. You know, I could use an automaton. You ain't got no lungs, so like, man, you could really get in there deep, burn up lots of charcoal, really put our profits to the roof.
Well, I don't breathe, and he opens like a little like hatch on his side and shows like a port puffing out little bits of stuff. He's like, you'd still need to get me a filter. Man, expensive.
Well, yeah, but that is just a little port. Like, have you seen the size of my face? When I have to put on like gas mask to make sure I don't choke on smoke.
Yeah, you got a 10-inch port, I got a 2-inch port. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, my filters would have to be like absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
I do have a question here.
I need June to make a perception check.
When was the last vacancy on the? She points to the spreadsheet of all the numbers and all of the different buildings and whatnot. She's like, when was the last vacancy? Like, when was earliest, as in like current time, honestly, vacancy.
Last one. Well, let's see here. Well, this one, and he points to one of the specific ones on there. He's like, this one, it come up empty like 2 days ago. Yeah, like 2 days ago. Never. Well, look, it's better than this one. And he like points to the other ones. And he's like, it's better than this one because this one, apparently, when guy died, he still had fire going and like he got a little out of hand. We put it out and everything, and you know, I am now going through a whole bunch of shit to get that building fixed back up and everything. But it did not happen at this other place. This other place is recent. It's nice and clean, ready for move now. You sure you don't want?
Callie nudges Tim. He's like, do you think there's like, do you think like recent time would make a matter, like, you know, matter, or,
I mean,
or have anything to do with it?
If I wouldn't be surprised if whatever this creature is sees its previous hunting ground.
Yeah, I was about. Yeah, that's
a frail old man.
Yeah, it's my main question. Obviously, is just, do you think it would still be in the same area after 2 days?
I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't be. Can I do some kind of nature check to see? Because they told us it was most likely a wraith. Can I see if I know any like information that wraiths move a lot, or if they all stick around an area?
No check needed for that. They are a type of ghostly undead. They are bound to an area.
I mean, if it's the whole Ashtide district, though, that doesn't help us, though, because it's the whole fucking place.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that is kind of the problem. If it is tied to the Ashtide district,
okay,
that's a large area.
Okay, then my next question is, I'm going to ask the big guy, do you have a sheet of all the people that have died in the last 3 years? Can we plot that on like all of the deaths within the last 3 years from this thing? Can we put it on a chart and see if there's any like overlap? You know what I mean? Is there one specific area where there seems to be more deaths than others?
Yeah, we can pull that. Not a problem. Give me a minute. I find all the data. Although he kind of like pauses, and he looks towards the front of the building and out like the big windows that are over there, and he's like, but it's also starting to get dark and late. Let's finish this up because I've got some stuff that I need to attend to, business crap.
Yeah, of course.
Out of character, sorry. Did we all have vials of holy water, or that was like someone holding it for us?
I know that Callie has 6 of them. There was a total of 12. So how are the other 6 divvied up?
I mean, we should probably give Jamal a couple, right?
Jamal gets 2.
Yeah.
We could do Jamal gets 2, June gets 2, Torque gets 2, Tim gets 2.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6.
All right.
Or Tim doesn't need 2.
Okay. So
June.
Yeah, Tim and Rusi don't need to because Rusi can just attack directly.
June
Yeah.
just
Tim
says,
has
"Do you mind
cool.
if I sit down real quick and take a breather? We've been walking all day. I need just a drink of water real quick." Like-
No problem. You take seat.
Okay, and she is going to just would this be like deception or stealth to like
to casually walk over there, it would be a
what?
It would be deception.
Deception. Okay.
Asking them.
Oh, that's a. I'm gonna reroll.
You
that.
hit diplomacy.
I'm gonna reroll that.
Yeah. Well, that's diplomacy. It doesn't count.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because that was like a 3.
Yeah.
Not diplomacy. Not, deception. There we go. Ooh, that's still a 9. Do I risk it? Do I risk it?
22 might be good enough.
Okay.
What's that deception from Tori? Is she also gonna?
Yeah, Torque is casually following along. Which, by the way, this is actually Torque actually has a new ability. That since Torque and the party have spent each other, very especially June, Torque is able to communicate messages to you like thieves can't style, while just looking like she's just standing there or she's keeping up a conversation. She can basically send you a coded message. You don't have to make a check or anything. She just sends you a coded message. Okay. And as she's kind of walking along with June, she is sending June like, little gestures and whatnot as she's just like honing in on like a specific chair, which she walks right past and then like sits into like one. They're total of 4. There's a small low table in the middle and then the fireplace. She sits in one of the opposite chairs and like just flops down, rests back like like she's tired, and just kind of like and like kicks her feet up onto the little table.
Yeah. June will also like sit back, kind of, just casually like reach in her arm into her bag, pull out the vial of holy water, uncork it, and then she throws it in the specific chair that is the shimmering in.
Okay. I need you to make a ranged strike then. So you can roll ladyfingers. That's good enough.
Okay.
Just unprompted.
Oh, it's a 7.
You're like, time for a drink. Throw. Just toss it into the other.
Do I want to roll? That's a 7.
I think 23 might be enough.
23 is in fact enough.
Okay.
All right, so you chunk the vial over there, and instead of it hitting the, cushy seat back, it collides with something that is about like 6 or 7 inches in front of it. There is it shatters. There is that splash noise, and then there is a hiss and a sizzling and a burning sound that comes from that area, and there is a very sharp intake of breath, kind of like noise that comes from there. But and you can see finger holes gripping into the cushion as whatever is sitting there, apparently has 5 fingers on each of its hands, is gripping real hard, shit that burns. Roll me a d6, by the way.
D6? Okay.
Do we all have to roll initiative now?
Well, technically no, because combat isn't initiating, because this thing isn't reacting in a combat way. It is specifically attempting to maintain its cool, even though June just hit it straight with a fucking vial of holy water. So yeah, it hisses and sizzles and pops, and June and can clearly see across the room where the rest of the party is standing there next to the desk, and medieval Wilson Fisk is pulling out some paperwork. He looks in your direction with a he squints, his big heavy brow low, and then he stops paying any attention to you, and he goes back to pulling the pieces of paperwork that he needed.
Okay. Then.
Now the rest of the party has the option on whether or not they want to react to this.
June just threw holy water on this damn thing.
Tim looks over and sees no fight start and is just like, "Hey, Callie, can you check? I'm on. If you could check that out for me, Callie, I'm gonna try and figure out the situation. If something flies off the handle, I'll hop in. But it looks like it might just be.
Are you sure?
Look, I promise. If it gets bad, I'll hop in. But for right now." Let me see if I can't figure this mystery out.
More internal screaming from June.
All right.
It's she thought that was the signal, and everyone's just like...
Callie, in that response, removes the bomb that is currently strapped to Tim, and is sure, I guess.
Just takes it off of his back, yep.
Yeah, don't.
We want the
throw
grenade
it
over here.
Yeah, don't throw it just yet. But if it comes down to it, then Tim's over here looking at the maps. Okay.
So as you're dislodging the explosive device from Tim's back while he's there at the desk, checking over as paperwork is being supplied. June, since you're over there and there is that basically a round passes, and it doesn't react in a combat way. There is another sharp intake of breath, and then a long exhale, kind of noise, and then you hear a feminine voice speak, in a low, at a low volume. You can clearly hear right there next to him.
Mm-hmm.
But you hear a feminine voice say, "Did you have to fucking do that? Now my shirt is wet. It is snowing outside. Also, that fucking burns. Could you not?"
this took an unexpected turn. As
Yeah, June, what's wrong with you? Why would you just attack a random patron?
I mean,
to be clear, this creature continues to be invisible.
yeah,
continue to be.
By the way, that comment was out of character. I was just making a joke.
Continues to be.
Yeah, it continues to be invisible, whatever it is. But it's very much in common. Could you not, please?
well, June raises an eyebrow.
Also to clarify, just one other thing. When it says this, like obviously I haven't been keeping this up, but like I mentioned this in the previous section when you guys got here and started talking to people. Like they have kind of a Russian accent all the time. This speaks with an imperial accent.
I see. Callie's response would be, "Who are you? Are you evil or are you good?" As she's like holding the bomb in her hands.
Well, Callie's still over there, like this, like it's kind of whispering to Jude at the moment, like from across.
Well, I mean, didn't I take a round to remove the bomb?
Yeah, well, it takes you around to remove the bomb, and then your action is to walk over. Which by the time you get there, it's no longer speak. But you come up behind the chair, and since you're close, you can quite clearly see there's a slight impression of someone who is probably roughly about the same size as June, kind of sitting in the chair. They're still very like they've got a death grip on those as they're like fighting the burning sensation from the holy water, which would kind of answer your question there on the are they evil.
I mean, yes.
Question.
Good. So back to June's
so
reaction.
Yeah,
she kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "Well, you're invisible right now. Does that really matter if your shirt's wet? I mean, do you even feel cold?
Of course I feel cold. Oh, that's gonna leave a scar."
June kind of like side eyes Torque is like, kind of like, is this?
Torque has been like as this has been going on. Torque has like suddenly pulled out like her deck of cards and is like thumbing through it in a magical kind of way, like she's looking for the right spell for what can help in this.
So I guess it's like when Callie kind of comes around.
Yeah. So as Callie comes over, you do see Torque finally like pick a card, and she sets that card like face down, like on top of one of her thighs, and then she takes the top card and lays it face up, and Callie can see in Torque's eyes the like light up that you see kind of similarly when Seamus does it, of like detecting magic and that kind of like stuff. So she's activating like detection magics to be like, hold on, what's going on here? As she specifically starts reading aura in the stuff around her. So she can't actually get anything off of the person, but she can read any magic items. So Torque is beginning the process of that. As y'all are sitting there, the voice, Callie, as you're coming up behind, you can see a slight bit of shimmer that's very similar to like when you use your invisibility, because you know that there's somebody there. So even though they are invisible, you can tell that they are there. And there is some shifting going on in the chair. Look back at you since you're coming up from behind. And you also hear this voice speaking in Imperial Common, still very like low, whispery kind of like tone, that says, I was just in here, enjoying the fire, doing a little bit of light reading. Nothing's going on. What's with the fucking... What is this? Is this holy water? Did you hit me with holy water? Did you get this from the church?
I didn't hit you with holy water. Callie says back. You did say she turned to see Callie.
Well, she did turn to like look in your direction, but when she spoke, it pointed, but it still pointed at June. Yeah. But she did like look back to like regard Callie like walking.
Callie then asked her question is like, what are you doing here? What are you? Are you good or evil?
Are you stupid?
Wow.
Do you not smell that? The burning flesh? Like...
Ma'am, I don't know if you should call me stupid. I'm the one here with a bomb that could probably end your entire existence. You better ask my fucking questions properly, or I will set this fucking thing ablaze.
Tim turns over and says, "Hey, language." So anyway, the map on this side,
and the kingpin like taps his table and he's like, "This is my place of business. Do not do that." He also continues to be completely surprised or anything with this development of you guys talking to an invisible person. He continues to like get the various pieces of paper that going back through. But the voice
was like,
says to Callie, says, all right, say your question one more time again.
Who are you?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Yes.
Are you evil? Okay.
Are you evil?
Okay, so the voice says, my name is a matter of client privilege, and you're not my client, so I can't tell you that. Secondly, I was here enjoying the fire and doing a little bit of light reading through holy water at me, and considering the effect of the holy water, what do you think?
So you are evil, is what you're telling me?
Yes. What do you want? What are you doing?
We're investigating murders. You ask us all this, like, are we stupid? And then you've been sitting here investigating the fire, I guess.
I was being polite and not listening to your conversation. I was kind of invested in what I was reading. But I'll go ahead and give you a freebie here. I'm not involved with any murders.
And what exactly?
I haven't murdered anybody in a long time.
And what exactly were you reading? An invisible book?
Yes.
That's just gonna raise an eyebrow of like scrutiny, like from June, like.
And it's very much like, what did you think I was doing? What else would I be reading? Were you reading an invisible book? Yes.
My next question is, if you're not involved in the murders, then who is? What the fuck are you here?
June kind of raises a hand up and says, you said you have a client. Who exactly is your client?
I'm not allowed to tell you. Like I'm literally not allowed to tell you. I'm not like being
bound by magic. Kind of not allowed to tell.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. Like I'm not trying to be obtuse here. I literally cannot tell you.
Then my next question is: are you the slave of a wraith? Then is my next question.
Ew, no.
Okay, then
I serve a much cooler boss than that.
I will also say, like, out of character, it's just like this reaction is a automaton, because it's like ghost automatically when
I guess Callie's next question would be to ask the guy, the big trollish man, is like, You're acting kind of like nonchalant about this. You knew who this person was here, right?
Of course. You think I wouldn't know when someone important comes to visit me in my office?
Oh, sorry, you kind of cut out there. Did you say important?
Yeah, he said, do you think I wouldn't know when I've got someone visiting me in my office?
So then are you their client?
No. Look, I know I've got this flat skull and this heavy brow. I know I sound like this. But I got a brain operating back here. I wouldn't be a client with something like that.
Callie then looks at you and is like, so you're telling me you threw holy water on this person and you didn't even first, like, I don't know, try to recognize what their intentions were before you did that?
Well, how was I supposed to know there were different ghosts and doing business clients? Like she just kind of like is a bit like she thought she was being like gonna like uncover like a spy or something, and it'd just be like there's like just a ghost girl like reading a invisible book. She's kind of like thrown for a loop here.
Torque kind of like leans over a little bit to June, and she says also kind of like quietly, she's like, it's not a ghost. I'm getting hints of fiendish magic from around her. She's got something on her that's powered by hell itself.
Oh, great.
As we figure,
it sounds like a lot of not my fucking problem, honestly.
Yeah. Tim's triangulating stuff and just turns over to the demon lady. It's like, if I might ask, what are your services?
Well,
ignore our friend. They're on edge.
since this apparently is just going to be how we do things, there's a snap noise, and fading in, what looks like a completely normal human lady is just sitting there in the chair. She is a bit wet on the chest. The top two buttons of her like button-up shirt have been undone, and you can quite clearly see like a burn mark on her skin. She has a very similar complexion to June. She looks like she's from the same region of the empire that June is from. She's probably standing like 2 inches within like June's height, probably roughly somewhere in that same like build and like weight category and everything. Like she literally looks like a fucking classmate or something of June's. But she also has around her neck a collar that very clearly has a devilish rune stamped into it. And it is a devilish rune that is not like difficult to parse out, as that is the rune of a Phistophilis devil. So basically, the Phistophilis devil, it's a devil lawyer, and this is like a lesser devil lawyer.
A devil lawyer.
Oh, Tim immediately is like, oh God.
What is it? Devil and warrior.
Look,
I mean, warriors are all warriors are devils, but I didn't know that there was a warrior for the devil himself.
Technically, I'm just an attorney.
I guess that's not as bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does mean something. It does mean to the devils. It means a lot of something. But this specific one, though, this is an attorney.
Okay.
This is an attorney.
What's your services?
Well, legal services. Specifically,
Legal services.
Specifically, she is here to advise her client on their end of the contract and to also advise on ways by which they can avoid further legal difficulties, both mortal and post-mortem.
I don't. Part of me is like, is this even involving like us at all?
Well, you're
Probably
here and you're
say
talking
no.
to me, so now it does.
My question is, has your client murdered people or something? Or what is your client being
I
defended
legally can't tell you
for?
that.
I was gonna say, no way in hell she could tell us. Literally, no way in hell could she tell us.
Yeah, legally,
You
I can't tell
us
you.
what your client is being defended from. That is what you can't tell us.
I can't tell you what they are being defended
Then
from.
what are you fucking good for? You fucking lawyer.
Talking to them, not you. You're not my client.
I was gonna say, we fully hopped in this person's other thing and just goes, you can't tell us everything about your private life? What's your use?
I'm not even
it
asking
seems
for
like
their
they're-
private life. I'm just asking what they're here for.
It seems like
Wait,
just
what
got
sense
the
does that
lunch break.
make?
That's like,
I
I mean,
mean-
I'm just like, that's like
I mean,
asking
kinda,
a lawyer
sorta,
what
yeah.
their, that's just like asking a lawyer what their next job is. It's not that personal.
Well, specifically, this demon is not a demon. This devil is bound by their actual rules of law, which for them is the rules of reality.
The rules of hell.
And the rules of hell say that this demon, this fiend cannot disclose any of the information about their client. But outside of that, you caught them in a moment when they're not sitting here.
My next question would then be, if they can't say anything about their client, then they can't say any information about their client, then exactly, I'm trying to formulate this question so it has nothing to do with the client.
Hell is
June-
all about
June-
loopholes.
June
I
will
don't know
kinda-
how well you'd be able to get around it.
June will kind of take the reins here for a second and kind of lean in, elbows on the table, hands on chin, and say, "Look, I'm sorry about splashing you with holy water. It's not like we expected to bump into a fiend while investigating these murders that happen to seem particularly demonic. If you would excuse my language."
Oh, trust me, if it was demonic, it would be a lot worse.
Oh,
This isn't demonic.
so you're pretty
Alrighty
knowledgeable
then.
about this thing.
So, this sounds a whole lot like not our fucking problem.
It sounds like you're pretty knowledgeable then. Would you?
I
just-
am educated on the current situation. Yes.
So then I would be safe to imagine that you might know what exactly is causing people to be filled with smoke then.
I would argue that it is entirely possible, given my connections, that I might know that information. However, I cannot confirm nor deny that I have that exact information. Although, were you to become a client, I could share that information with you
No. It's a literal deal with the devil.
if I possess it.
If
My next question is,
Don't do the deal.
what do I actually have to sacrifice to be a client of yours?
Oh, there is no sacrifice involved. It is simply a deal.
And that
You
deal
sign
is...
a binding agreement that you retain services legally, both mortal and post-mortal, from the attorney that I represent.
Post-mortem. What does that mean? Like
Whenever
after
you-
death?
Yeah.
Yes,
Just-
it means after you die.
And the deal, what do I have to give up exactly?
Oh, not much. I mean, the thing is that should you not follow the advice that we would provide to you as a service and are found, let's say, hypothetically, guilty of a crime, which we advised you in such a way that you could get around such a conviction, because, of course, as we all know, you would be innocent. But if you somehow still manage to get yourself convicted of that crime, well, then, at that point, your soul comes with me back down there.
Oh,
so they will represent you, but if for some reason you
lose your case,
they get their soul.
That doesn't sound
talk about
much like a deal.
Well, some people see avoiding jail and just, going straight to the end of it anyways. Way to shortcut in line. There's no waiting. You don't have to, talk to Pharasma.
Callie's next question would be, what if I take all your advice on avoiding jail time and I still end up getting convicted? Is my soul still forfeit?
Oh, yes.
That's their whole shtick.
Oh, well then that's a bunch of bullshit, isn't it?
The idea is to keep you out of jail.
There's loopholes.
If you follow all of our advice, in the course, the theoretical circumstance that you were actually guilty of a crime, which of course, again, theoretically you haven't committed, then, well, you go on to what is rightfully yours at the end of your existence, both here in the universe and outside of it. And we love to see resolutions where people get what they deserve.
My next question is, if I were to make a deal with you, theoretically, actually no, I don't know if this question would make any fucking sense now that I'm saying it.
Please ask away. I'll try to make some sense out of an answer.
You know how like soul gems are like formed about like making a deal with the devil or whatever,
Soul gems are not formed by making a deal with.
I see.
The quest.
You just got free information from this devil. Good job.
Understand? Yeah, I mean, like that's probably good. Yeah. So
well, technically, that's free public information.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's public knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, free public knowledge, but from a devil though.
Okay.
Yeah, it is public knowledge for a public that is completely outside of. But yeah, devil. That's not how that happens.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess yeah.
Now, if you would like to retain services, I would simply need to have your name and a drop of blood. But that's all.
While they're doing this, how's the map looking?
The Trolls guy, Google, he has pulled out some paperwork, and now he's just sort of like, he's relit his conversation with this hellbound attorney, like right over the way. So he's just like, puff, on his on his cigar.
Tim's watching.
Honestly, I feel like one of those situations. What?
You go.
Oh, look, this feel like one of those situations if we had Seamus jokingly just some Lamau stuff and be like, what if I did it? It'd be like, what?
I mean,
he's already.
All dogs go to heaven. Checkmate.
That's true.
Callie over to Rusi nudges in Aquan and whispers to him, is like, I don't know about you, but this deal with the devil kind of shit is not really looking good with me,
My plans.
It seems
over the world.
It seems a little lacking. Like maybe you need to talk to a bigger. Like, didn't she say she works for a cooler boss than a wraith?
I mean, which probably means she works for a devil. I mean,
probably.
What's the step up from a wraith? Probably the devil himself,
Or a devil.
Like
or
a devil,
yeah.
I guess. Because Callie, I don't know shit about like the workings of hell, but I'm pretty sure they've got like a strict hierarchy thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, this one looks almost like a regular person, so like, it's gotta be really low rank. We could probably grass.
Which means if I were to sign this deal, I'd be even lower rank than them, even though they're already low rank, which means I'd be fucking low on the totem pole of ranks when it comes to the devils. So why the hell would I sign this deal?
Yeah, I mean, why don't you just ask her for like whoever the fuck her boss is?
Can I speak to your manager?
Then Callie would be like, I have to ask, can I speak to your boss, or is that an impossibility right now?
At this very moment, that is not possible, but I can always take a message if you'd like.
Yeah, I guess a message to your boss would be good.
What would you like me to communicate to them?
Callie nudges like Tim's like, what should I say to their boss?
You're the one that asked.
Tim, would you like to make a legal law?
Yeah, let me draft up a contract.
It only makes sense that I nudge the guy with the most legal lore.
I mean, yeah, that is a good idea.
The guy who's known for making good contracts with people, you know?
Tim is just like, yeah, hold on one second. And like Tim turns to the table and is like, hey, you got a piece of paper I can...
Yeah, sure, here you go.
Tim starts drafting up a contract and is just attempting to do it to... It's as little... It's like, basically, Callie will be getting information that is not so much information that it would cost her a ton, but is enough information that we can move.
Callie, you're not seriously about to make a deal with... She kind of trips upon her words. Like,
I'm like, we have bigger problems at hand than trying to do this.
I am not suggesting that. I just want to know some stuff from this guy, you know? I am not, out of everyone here, I am the last person who would sell their soul to any god or devil or any sort of, like, deity figure that has power, you know? I want my own power. I don't want to sell my soul for a contract that's probably gonna fuck me up in the end, you know? Don't worry about that.
That's very reasonable of you.
Tim hands over the contract and goes like, this is basically a handwritten message that is like, contact me at a future time for us to speak about potential information sharing.
I will gratefully pass this on to my superiors. Now, if you folks are done pestering me, I've got some reading I like, and now I'm going to have to a little bit to dry off before I step back outside.
Of course.
Understandable.
Before they go, though, June does stop and say, "You're Imperial, aren't you?"
Originally, yes.
So I guess you made a deal that didn't pan out. Oh god, they're huge.
Just turns into a kaiju. Just originally.
Yeah, show you what she looks like. But yeah, she says, well, that depends on who you ask. I kind of like my job that I've got now. It has room for growth that my previous position didn't really offer. And, I would have thought, honestly, that, working for Cadian folk would, given that they're so loose with everything, would allow for swift promotion within the ranks, but that's just not how that worked out. This place, however, there's a ladder to climb, of course, but the benefit is that you can see the ladder. You can make plans for the ladder. Is there a rung that's currently out of reach? Well, you can find an alternate rung and move that way. So, I like that. You know, one of these days, and it may be a long time, but like one of these days, I'm going to have my name on the sign out front.
Huh.
And if you play your cards right, maybe you'll get something that could as well. At which point, the hellbound attorney pockets the note that Tim wrote, stuffs it in their pocket, and then steps into the active roaring fire, and just disappears. Although they just go invisible again, and like there's a slight person-shaped void in the fireplace, and you can hear the like, there we go. Gotta get dried off before I step outside.
Callie pulls on like Tim's ears, like, you better not screwed me.
If I did, it would be too late before you knew.
I mean, I hope so. I hope you haven't screwed anybody.
No.
Torque takes her like face down card and like slips it back in the deck, reshuffles, slides that back into her pocket.
Callie would ask her, "Is like, do I get screwed over in the near future by this deal we've made?"
Well, once we have a spot to like sit down and rest for an hour, I can ask. We'll find out. But,
truly, yeah, we will.
But, however, and she like looks back over at Dougal, and she's like, "So we've got something. You've got a map for." Dougal like, "I got something for you. Ain't much, but I got a little thing."
Tim's over here like pulling his legal stuff out of his head. He's just like working on a map, written up a contract. He's talking to this dang guy.
Sacrificing somebody else's soul to the devil.
As you do. So, for real. Torque just shivers at the mention of goats, like, kind of like rubs her side a little bit with one hand. But Dougal has broken up the Ashtide district into 4 blocks, such as it is. So, like here on the map, I've put down the like 4 blocks that we are looking at. And he says that in the smallest, like northbound block, like this one right here, that's right on the edge of the big town center square, that has had the least amount of people go poof. There's slightly more in this section, slightly more than that in this section. Heaviest concentration in this section right here. Gotcha. So this section has the highest concentration. It is where the most did happen.
Okay. I guess we go look in that section then, I guess.
Tim crouches back down to get the bomb back.
Yeah. Callie's like strapping the bomb on, is just like, oh. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe another
better not
day.
sacrifice myself for nothing.
Don't worry.
Man, I hope this works out. But yeah, so this section here is where most of the stuff has happened. It also has the most dense number of like active charcoal kilns as well. Like, I mean, it's in all of these districts, but like this is also just by space the most densely packed kilns for charcoal.
Yeah.
I also have to ask: is there any vacant buildings in the section with the most concentrated deaths? Like,
Say that
as
again?
in vacant buildings, as in people haven't paid the rent, or people have like moved out and died. You know, like one of those two, or one of those three. You know.
Of the people that he pointed out, of the like 4 people who have rent due and haven't paid yet, he points out that 2 of them do live in this district, and then you got one in this district, and then one in this district. But there are 2 of them here, and he says that all of these buildings are currently have people in them, active businesses, that sort of thing. So there is no there are no vacancies, because even the most recent vacancies he's already filled in, like the last 20 years.
That shouldn't be too much of an inconvenience.
I was gonna say Tim will be a homeless man sleeping on the street.
Yeah.
That'll be even easier for it to choose.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not too inconvenient, considering it attacked a homeless girl that was like 13 years old or something.
And he says that if you're going to go picking through this area in the dark, he says that so that you are aware, this specific like block of buildings down here in the farthest corner, this is all residential. Then this clump here. Let me switch colors.
This one's
here.
residential.
That was residential.
Okay. So let me use green. Green is residential, and then blue is warehouses. Like, these are strictly business. And then we'll use purple. And then this section is mixed businesses and residential.
I see. And most of the murders happen in not business areas, right? They happen like people sleeping in the residential areas, right?
Mostly, yes. However, he does point out that a lot of these places, which are businesses, also usually have like a back room that has a bed in it, where like the person like sleeps in. So they're not in order to be a residence, it has to be no business. But businesses can also technically be residences.
Then it probably would be best to check out the mixed residential area.
Yeah, find some place that's like near a charcoaly area. Cover myself in soot and sleep near a warmer area.
So, yeah, probably a good idea.
Look like a dusty, busted old man.
Because Callie also proposed the idea maybe like this wraith has a specific hatred towards a specific type of business or business men or women, like they specifically hate a specific type of person.
Yeah, they said that was the thing. It seemed like it was mixed in pretty much every way except for the Ashtide, and now we're seeing more in this area. Yeah. So I guess I'll go like really old man.
Okay. So the plan is, to make sure that I'm covering this correctly, that Tim's going to use the masquerade scarf to make himself look like a old, frail human, and then he's going to make sure that he gets himself covered in the appropriate amount of soot to look like he's here, and then he's going to just basically be an old homeless man on the street, easy target, just in case the serial killer comes by. That is the plan, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And don't forget the part of the plan where he's got a bomb strapped to his chest.
I got a positive bomb strapped to my chest.
And he's got a bomb strapped to his chest to suicide detonate on the Wraith if it shows up. Gotcha. Okay. now that we've covered all of that. Okay, so Tim, you activate the effect. You get yourself all sooted up. Obviously, of course, you guys leave Dougal's place. The Hellbound attorney does actually like step out of the fire. It does not like return to visibility, but like it steps out of the fire. Since you guys are obviously know that it's there, but it steps out of the fire as you guys are like, it's like hold the door, and like steps out into the night street like with you guys, bids you good night, and then like walks off just invisibly down the road.
Callie looks at Tim, is like, I hope you cut me a good deal.
Don't worry, young girl. It was perfectly good.
You are my attorney, and if you fuck me, just know there will be hellfire to pay.
Just keep in mind this: you're pretty much the only person that can repair me with any solidity. So I kind of don't want to fuck up my own mechanic.
Understand.
My only way is to stay alive.
All right, so if Tim is going to be the visible bait, what's the rest of the party going to do?
I guess.
Are you guys going to just hide in an alleyway? Is that general vibe here?
I mean, the ghost attacked a 13-year-old girl. I guess maybe Callie might also pretend to be bait as well, I guess. Maybe heighten her chances, here.
Okay.
Callie would just be like, oh, hey, I'm sleeping in an alleyway,
Boogada boogada. Okay, well, if that's the case,
maybe have her, like, a couple people, like her brother and, like, maybe, like, Jamal, like, waiting on standby in case something happens.
Yeah. Okay. So then here's what we'll do then. Since Callie and Tim are going to be the active bait, then Jamal and Rusi will keep an eye on Callie, and June and Torque will keep an eye on Tim, and those characters will basically like post up, like in a dark alleyway, where they can hide and keep an eye on you, because you are the two that are trying to be visible as potential targets. Okay.
I think it's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So, it is fucking freezing out here. It's not snowing, but as I said, it is there is a light just snow of ash that is gently drifting over the area. In the dark, the streets have mostly cleared. There's still some late night, travelers of people moving around, but it's very rapidly falling.
I do have to ask, is
and
my
the temperature is
wasteland very, very fuzzy with all the snow around me?
Yeah, like if you're touching a
Alright.
light snowdrift, you're getting like maybe an extra 5 feet worth of sense.
Okay. Yeah, but it's incorporeal, so it could just appear at... You know what? No, I was gonna ask to set a reaction, but like the thing's a ghost, so like it could just appear out of nowhere.
The hope is that the reason I think we were sending me was the hope that it would attempt to try and do it to me, and I'm made of metal. You're made of actual flesh. We kind of don't want it to get
I mean,
you.
You're also like disguised as like an elderly, and I'm like.
So
I am a lost child.
That's true.
Yeah.
So long as we stay close enough with each other, I can still pull it and it'll be fine.
Callie is doing her best, like sickly Victorian child, and Tim is doing, like crazy old man. Which can. This isn't the first time Tim has done this.
Crazy enough.
Tim has now done this. Enough, yeah. Tim has now done this twice over the course of.
I had a nickel.
If I had a nickel for every time Tim pretended to be crazy old man, I'd have 2, which is not a lot, but it is crazy that it happened twice.
Yep. Okay, so then what I am going to need both Callie and Tim to let me know what their deception DCs are.
DC. That's for me. It's a 21.
Okay. 21 deception DC for Callie. What is Tim's deception DC?
So technically, I get a +4 from the humanoid form, so that's
Mhm.
17.
Correct. Okay, so that gives you a 17.
Is that before you had the 10 or after?
That's after I add the 10.
Oh, that's
How do I-
okay. 17.
I have a-
17.
I have a +3 to deception.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, so you have a total +7 right now.
God,
with
I swear to God, if we have
item,
this
okay.
whole plan, Callie still ends up being the one that they attract. I'm gonna be so pissed.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, I need to make a couple of things here.
Jiminy Crickets.
Okay.
We strapped a bomb to you, man. If you can't attract them, I'm gonna be pissed as hell.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Okay, I finally
So-
found my image. I'm like,
Okay. Well, actually, Jay.
no, I was like, I thought that's what she looked like. That's what...
I mean, that's actually probably higher up the chain.
Yeah.
Like I said, this particular attorney, she's very low ranked. She's a little more than a devilish paralegal.
I mean, she looks very, very human, which means she's very low on the ranks, you know?
Yeah, she's really low on the ranks, and she's also probably really fresh.
But it is very ironic the fact that I just have this image of a demon's lawyer, demon
lawyer,
I've seen that specific image before. But either way, though, Jay, I need you to make a check. I need Jamal to make a check.
To make a check.
Yes, I need Jamal to make a perception check. Please. I also need June to make a perception check.
All right.
Rough.
So it begins.
Oh.
So
That
it
We go.
begins.
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
yes.
She's on high
The
alert
road
after that.
being
Look,
the
you
road
be
being a
looking.
road. Yeah, after fucking invisible devil people were just chillaxing, she's like,
She's alert.
I must see all of the things. Okay, so this thing. Okay, that's what we're dealing with. Okay, so Jamal, you're with
Yes.
Ruthie, and you are specifically keeping an Callie. So you and Rusi are have taken a position in a side alleyway. So Callie's in a big alleyway that would have traffic, and you're in a side alleyway, which is a little tight for Rusi. It's perfectly okay for you.
Yes,
But
rough.
he's he as you and him are sitting there waiting, and Callie gets into position and starts just being a
woe's
lost
me.
child. Yeah.
I'm a lost Victorian child. I gotta sleep in this alleyway.
Make sure to rub some trash on you while you just show that you really
cancer.
just puts a crumpled up piece of paper on the top of her helmet.
Her covers are literally the newspaper or whatever. She's sleeping with the newspaper.
Yeah, straight up with a broadsheet on her. Okay, but as you are sitting there, Rusi nudges you in the shoulder, Jamal, with his organic arm. But he nudges you in the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, if a wraith does actually pop out, I'm supposed to use my sword, but it suddenly occurs to me, what if just a regular murderer person also shows up?"
Jamal says, "You clearly haven't been with this group a lot, have you?"
No,
Dude,
man. It's my first time in the field with you guys.
No. I'm saying a funny statement.
I know, but metagaming, Callie would probably be like, "Bro, this guy got woken up a couple months ago. He's been on ice for 10 years."
I'm like, yes. I'm not. No, but I'm not metagaming. I'm jokingly at Jamal because he
Well,
so many.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time in the field with you guys. I want to just ask your advice. If that happens, should I like still go in with the sword, because it is a sword, or like should I hit him with the boom boom? And like he flips his robotic hand like backwards, like it opens up like a fucking hinge, and whatnot, and like out comes the like cannon, and he's like, or should I hit him with the boom boom? I'm trying to feel out the vibe. What's the vibe for the fight when the fight happens?
I'm like Jamal, like you could put the boom boom back. I think Tim got that covered. I would probably say just stick with the sword.
Tim's like 5 alleys down, though. What are you talking about? Tim's not here.
I'm like, dude, have you seen?
All right, Jamal. I'll just play it by ear, okay? I'll just play it by ear. And then he like gives a thumbs up to like Callie, and he's like, "You're doing fine."
Even though more actuality, Jamal would be like, but really, we try and keep a low profile. I would probably say keep the sword ready.
Okay. Meanwhile, about 4 or 5 alleys over, we're Torque and June are watching Tim, as Tim is being the crazy old man who's like fishing in a garbage can or whatever.
Every little fishy, I love the smell of garbage.
Exactly. Since he's putting his whole
inconspicuous
into the act here, Tim doesn't get the opportunity to make the check. But like with June's 35, with her being just like on guard and on the ball for things, June notices that that of the like regular passerby that are filtering in and out and going home and pardon me, out of them, you do see two women who are middle-aged that are walking along with children. There are 3 children, and one child that's like walking between them has like a little bit of like a limp, like they're obviously a much worse off Victorian child than Callie is, but like they pass by, and the moment they're out of like June's like visual range, that's when that perception check kicks in of like something's not quite right there. And when June like looks around the corner to just kind of like track where they've gone, you see the 2 women, 2 children.
No,
neither child has a limp.
All right. She immediately alerts Torque about that the child has just been like abducted or disappeared, whatever.
Should we climb, like get on a roof or something? I don't know. These are kind of covered in snow. Where'd it go? How'd it do that?
I don't know. It's just when they rounded that corner, it was one of the kids was gone. I noticed because they had a limp. And now there's only 2 kids and no limp.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So Tim is still doing his thing. We haven't heard. Through.
Come here, puppy. Tim's like pulling on a piece of garbage out of the trash can. I got you some bacon.
Okay, this might be a little off topic, real quick, June. But like, if Tim tries to eat that, what happens to it? Because as we discussed earlier, he doesn't actually have a mouth.
I think it's just there until he spits it back up. But
you watch the mouth on the like humanoid figure open, and he puts what he caught in his mouth, and just you have a high enough perception to just fall in his shirt. Just
what about that kid that disappeared? Maybe they were the ones that got snatched up instead of one of the baits we set up.
Okay, and that's really close. That's like less than 100 feet from us. And I didn't hear a damn thing. Like, and those two women, they're still walking. Like,
should I go and investigate while you keep an eye on Tim?
Yeah, you get closer. If anything happens, though, be loud about it. And here. And she reaches into her pocket and pulls up one of those little trinkets that she has given June before and, like, passes her that so that June gets a bonus to any saving throws from, things that June doesn't want to make saving throws.
Is it metagaming if the GM does it?
I mean, no, it isn't. I gave you specifically an NPC that can do this. So, like,
I'm joking. I'm just giving you a hard time. But, so she will give Torque a quick squeeze and will, as subtly as, like, as discreetly as she can, kind of hurry back to, I guess, like, tail the group or the women that had the missing kid, or, like, try to see where that kid may have gone to, if he's even still around.
Okay. The women and their children, as they're walking along, they are not paying strict enough attention to their surroundings. June would need to worry about them spotting her. And the fact that June is also a human in this area means that pretty much everyone else is anyways. So in order to successfully tail them, however, I would like June to go ahead and make a stealth check.
Stealth check, okay.
Because there is something else that's watching, and we need to see if June can get past. Yeah, that does get past the perception. Okay. All right. So you tail these two women. They go to a large building, like a big building. Looks like a warehouse. It is partially two-storied. It's mostly just a single-story building, but it's very, very wide. And then part of it does have like a upper, so there is a second level that just doesn't cover the whole ass thing. And they go up to the front door. You see one of the women reach into like the pockets of her clothing. She pulls out like a big key ring with a bunch of keys on it. She puts a key in there, unlocks the door, opens the door. Everybody goes in. She pulls out the key, walks in, and closes the door behind her. So they walk into a otherwise windowless, dark warehouse building, still completely without this third child. However, and that's only like half a block away from where Tim is like currently pretending to be a crazy man. So you don't tail them very far. They go to this building, they walk inside, they close the door behind them. There continues to be no lights or any other activity around the building.
Any sign of the one with the limp?
For that, I am going to need you to... Or actually, no, a survival check. Make a survival check.
Survival check. Ooh, okay. It's 20.
Okay. All right, so in the ash and light snow in the road, looking back over at the spot where like last did clearly see that child and then it was gone, you can see two very odd things about the tracks. Is that there are clearly tracks for the larger feet of the adult women and then the smaller feet of the children. But the child that was in the middle, not only did it apparently have a limp, the evidence of one of the legs like dragging a limp, but the foot that is not limping, it's a bare footprint. like there is no boot footprint. It is a bare footprint, and then when it gets, basically you got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. There's half of a footprint, and then it's just gone. There is not another one. So like there's half of a fifth footprint, and there is a slight angling to it, as if it didn't just like lift straight up. It went off at a slight angle.
And can I like get like at least like a sense like if it was like if the child was like pulled in a direction or not?
It appears that if the child was grabbed by something, it was grabbed by something that was probably flying, and was just like swooped right off the ground.
Well, is there anything?
If it was grabbed by something,
can I see anything?
Alternately, the child took.
Oh, are you okay?
The child took flight.
The child took flight, willingly or unwillingly.
Well, can I get a good look in the sky between the ash and the snow?
Between the ash and the snow, and the fact that you just have normal vision, no, it's pretty fucking black. It's it's honestly like you're under a roof.
Yeah.
Rather than open sky, even though otherwise open sky. Since you are, however, looking up, make another perception check.
Okay. You know what? I think I am gonna reroll that because that's a 7.
Okay.
Reroll.
Come on.
There we go. Okay.
11 more.
All right. So June, being like, this child like left this earth, literally left the earth, and like looking around and looking up into the sky and around the rooftops and whatnot. First thing you notice is that one of the roofs has a like obviously you can see snow piled up on the but the roof that's on the building directly next to where you last physically saw this child and where the tracks are at, there is a indent on the snow that's right there on the edge of the roof, like something compressed or moved through that one section.
Like it leapt off.
Yeah, like something had left up there or was perched or something. And as you're just like following the line, you can see again that big building does have a second floor, and on that second floor there are windows, and one of those windows is open.
Okay. Well, June definitely thinks that this building is sus even before investigating the snow and the tracks and stuff like that. That it's like essentially like more like a warehouse than like like residence or hospice. And
it probably would have been a good idea to have every single party member like be able to like signal to the rest of the party members, like I don't know, like set up a flare or some shit that like
that would be something worth investing into later, like
or like some maybe we need to get a phone plan for the group.
Yeah, the T-Mobile plan.
Yeah, we need a group chat. But
it's cold.
In lieu of a group chat, however, Torque is still back over, at the corner of the alleyway that you guys were like hiding in, and the like slightly more main street that June is on, and the alleyway that Tim is in. So she can see both June and Tim.
Yeah. So
she's there, like she visually can see the edge of her like peeking around the corner. So if you needed to just like wave a signal or something, she's there, and then she can signal Tim.
That's exactly what she's going to do in like a very like kind of like not like waving her hands like flailing them away, but like point to Torque and point directly at the building that the sus one, and she is going to like once she's sure that Torque got the message, she is going to try and investigate the building.
Okay.
And
Torque waves back that like she got the message, and she points, like she does like some quick hand signals that she's going to like go notify Tim, since Tim's the next closest person. So she signals that back to you before.
Gonna catch a little fishy.
Yeah, and June is going to try and Prince Persia this shit with her feet.
Okay. Wall jump.
Yeah.
Master in athletics. You use your momentum to form a jump to propel yourself. If you're adjacent to a wall, which you are, at the end of a jump, whether performing a high jump, long jump, or leap, you don't fall as long as your next action is another jump. So you literally can triangle jump up walls. Okay, cool. You can use wall jump only once in a turn. Okay. All right. So June is going to bounce back and forth between buildings in the alleyway to get. So I'm going to need you to make a athletics check to jump. Okay, and then follow that up immediately with another. Even better. Okay. June successfully Prince of Persia's her way up to the friggin' roof. Most of these buildings, as stated before, are usually like single story, so it's not like really far. But they are fairly slanted because of the, for the snow to not put all of that weight and everything. But you do get up there, and now that you are up there, very clearly, there are tracks.
All right, and she is going to, like, low to the, I would say ground, like low to the roof, just kind of slowly crawl to the, like basically avoid to avoid directly going straight into the thing, like, block the window, just kind of more like take the long way, or like the curve way. Sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. Just roundabout way to get like to the edge of the window and like kind of like peek in instead of just like kind of jump through it. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Okay, so then what I'm going to say is that as June is getting herself creeping along over to the window on the second story of this big building, while she does that, Torque goes down the other alleyway and walks over to where like Tim is at, and she doesn't like talk directly to Tim. She uses her ability to just be like, "Hey, old man, get out of that fucking garbage can. You don't belong here." Like blah blah blah. That whole like, "Hey, homeless guy," where she's clearly sending you the message of like something's up, whatnot. And she's like, "You should go down to some other fucking alley where we can't find you." Blah 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 blah. Like
bleepity bleep bleep bleepity bleep 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 bleep.
Hey,
what was that other? Just like, wow.
What did you call me?
I'm playing the part.
That was a misslip. That was a misslip.
I'm playing the part. You're playing the part too much, man.
No, I like to
imagine. But no. She plays directly into the like, like you're a crazy old homeless guy, and you like say some bleep bleep to her, and she's like, "The fuck you saying, bleepity bleep, old man?" Very much in the like, I am completing the bit with you, kind of thing. Yes. So in case anybody else might be watching, this looks like a regular sort of like interaction kind of thing. But she is directing Tim to go notify the other party members a couple of alleyways over that something's up. And she includes in that you should stay away from this area around the big warehouse, blah blah blah. We got laws in this town and everything.
Yeah.
And then she scampers back to the alleyways. She can look down towards the building and hopefully get a spot on June. But while the rest of the party is essentially, we're going to do that thing that I did earlier with Tim, where I'm just going to move just June to another page.
Ooh.
Okay, so let me now, June. You will see other players on the map because everyone will eventually be there. But let me see here. Let me jump to where are you at? Okay, warehouse. Drop down. Select June. Move June to this page.
Oh.
All right. You may need to zoom out. This is a kind of a. As a matter of fact, let me get myself also zoomed out here. Can you just real quick confirm for me that you do have control?
And is this like where the window is on the second?
Well, I'm about to move you to it, but you do have control over it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm technically going to put you inside of the wall. But this is you looking through. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, boop. All right. You should be able to see inside the structure.
Yeah.
And there are some folks here. Let me grab bibbity bobbity. Where's my thing?
You could check the mail, please.
Come on. Come on, roll 20. Roll 20's being slow as fuck. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Do you have any lead, bro?
Where is?
You have a lot? Do you have a lot? I'll go look for my own.
Okay. I'm gonna drop a couple of characters on here to like represent the like people that June can see here. Okay. So there is one of those ladies and one of those children that you saw come in over here at this table. And
What was it?
there is a third person, grab third person, who looks a lot like the child that went missing. They are not with the lady and the other child. Like they're over here at this, but this person, this child, is crouched, like imagine like a gargoyle, you know, like crouched on the edge of a thing, and they are in fact out here on these cross beams that cover this big open space. So let me bring them to proper layer. Doodly 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 doo. There we go, token layer. So that's what you got currently going on over here. The lady and the child are sitting at this table. They have, like, you can see, you know, from the child, since they're smaller, you can see that there are a couple of plates of some food or something that is sitting on the table in front of them. They are currently eating from those plates. They are steaming because it's, you know, fresh food and all that sort of stuff. But it's otherwise, it's very low light in here. And these people are all clearly human. This child looks strange. They're in a, like, they're also like in a low light shadow place, but like they look a little weird. These people look like normal people. Like these people over here, they look like normal people. So they're eating. This person is perching like a weirdo on these like cross beams, just watching them eat. And after a moment, you see the the kid that's on the beams reach down to their waist, and then they pull up a something in their hand, and they extend it, like it telescopes out, and they sit there again for just like, and then they bring it to their lips, and very much like blowgun, and then you see like the adult lady just go boneless and like flop face forward into what she's eating, and the kid is just like, what? They reload, and then the kid goes.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt you. After the first blow dart, June is going to pull out Ladyfingers, load Ladyfingers, and shoot. And I don't know if you want to roll initiative or something like that, like if who'd do what first, but that's...
well, you know what? They're reloading, you pull out a gun and shoot. Just go ahead and give me a ranged attack with Ladyfingers.
All right.
So, party's marshaling.
That's
coming together, and it's just like, June found something. And then there's a boom of gun going off.
Hero point. Redoing that, because that was like a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Dice gods.
Well, you know what? You are shooting through a window at a creature like perching in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you see them like blow dart, go to reload, and then you're like gun fire through the smoky window into the, half lit interior of this building. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you actually hit or not, obviously June's vision's not going to be really good enough to be able to note that.
Yeah.
But you do stop the second blow dart from like going into the kid. Mm-hmm. And instead, the person, the child thing, whatever it is, instead whips their head to look back like directly at June. You see like a little glint of eyes in the darkness, and then they just silently step backwards and drop off and down into the darkness below.
Fuck. All right. Well, I think that's a good spot as any to stop. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that is.
Why?
So, the party marshaling, like literally just a couple of intersections off, hears the muffled like bang of June's handgun.
Okay, I'm back. What's
going off? You just heard a gunshot.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
Yeah,
the party minus June marshaled about like 2 intersections off from the warehouse location. Torque, filled everybody in. June and her noticed like a couple of ladies, 3 kids. They walked past. Apparently June got like a vibe that something was up. Checked on them, and one of the kids was just gone. Was just missing. And the 2 ladies who were apparently just, in whatever they were doing, they just kept going. And so like June sent a message or targeted Torque, like sent her a little hand gesture to like, hey, find everybody. And then like Torque went to go, notify the rest of you. And now suddenly you're all here, and bam, gunshot. And Torque like whips around, and she's like, I know that gunshot. That was Ladyfingers. Come on.
I know ladies' fingers from anywhere.
So,
thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yes. So give me a second here. We are ending at this time in. But I'm going to go ahead and move the entire to the new map.
For reference, Tim still has this positive bomb strapped to his chest.
Yes, you still have a positive bomb strapped to your chest. Okay, and then I want to regroup everybody as a single thing, but now you're all here on the actual page. Okay, so just real quick before we do bring the session to a close, I just want everybody to click on their characters, make sure that you can see and that you can move your character. But the door that you guys will be right here in front of you. So otherwise, get ready for who's going in what direction. So there you go. So we will pick up next session, which I guess won't be happening next week.
I mean, you guys can
on the
play,
15th.
You guys can play without me if just because I'm going to a wedding.
Well, I mean, yeah. If we have enough people and everyone ready and willing to do so, then we will play next week. And June is conveniently not with the party.
But I mean, yeah, I told you guys plenty of times, this isn't my show. Just because, I stream it for people to also watch along doesn't mean, if I'm gone, you guys can't play.
Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Let me... hold on. Let me just real quick see where... Let's see.
I think I'm thinking that deer and that spaghetti might have been a bit off.
Did you say deer?
Yeah.
Venison spaghetti usually pretty but
God, now I want to...
also it can be a bit gamey.
It's the one that I made was good, but it was good 3 or 4 days ago, and it sat in a pot in my fridge, and then I finished the rest of it today.
Yeah, that's where you do got to be a little careful. Okay, so session officially over. As always, everybody, thank you for putting up with my bullshit. But we have a small dungeon to take care of. June is completely separated from the other party, although at the moment it's really easy for her to get back to the party. So at least there's that at the moment. But yeah, so next time that we play, whether that is next weekend or the weekend after that, we will be starting on this, and there is some fun stuff that is loaded up in here because I've been really itching to get to this, and it's finally time. It's finally happening.
I'm excited. We gonna get fucked up in this dungeon.
I mean, hell yeah. Okay. All right. So otherwise, like always, I hope that you guys have the rest of your evenings is fun and magical and whatnot. I'm gonna go make myself some friggin' dinner and take some pills and whatnot. So I will talk to you guys later. Y'all have a wonderful evening and very soon.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Schmooch.
Alright, well, that was a lovely session, and thank you all for joining us today, and props to all of our players and Fuzzy as well, and I will see you all, not next week because I'm going to be gone, as I mentioned at the start, but hopefully the week after we'll have the next session, whether that's directly after or directly continuing this, or if I'll be caught up to speed what happened. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hope you all have a lovely day, and I know exactly who we're going to go to raid. We're going to go ahead and raid Zero. They are debuting their new dragon model, and yeah, we are just going to go show them some love. So let's go ahead and search for raid. And here's the raid message. If you aren't subscribed, you can use this one, or use your own emotes, or just copy the words, whatever you want. And I hope you all have a lovely time. Have a great week, or great weekend, yeah. And I will see y'all later. Bye-bye. One of these days I'm gonna get an ending screen for this thing. I will. I promise. Bye-bye.